All right, guys. Welcome back to Cafe Conspiracy, guys. We are jumping into something a little different tonight from the true crime realm, as I have been doing with this secondary channel. Um, Tonight we're going to be discussing real hauntings, and we're going to go and look into the Sallie House, and then I'm going to allow call-ins or people to join me to tell stories that if you want to discuss any haunting experiences that you've had or that you believe they are, um, we're going to go ahead and do that. So please make sure to hit the like button on this, guys. Share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing in here, if you will, please. And, well, let's do this thing, you guys. Let's do it. 1 minute here. Oops. I forgot. Give me a second. Everyone, I'm so sorry. Here we go. Okay. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Da, 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 da. Welcome to Cafe Conspiracy. Come on in and have a seat. Let's have a talk, just you and me. Let's talk about the things we're not supposed to be. Is that a UFO flying up above? Did you see that ghost? Give that door a shove. What's going on in the state of the deep? It will give you some thought you may or may not wanna keep. Really strange things that go bump in the night. Lots of weird feelings, can't tell if they're wrong or right. You leaning slow, I lock the door. You ask for proof, I show you more. Cafe Conspiracy, we will break it all down. Cafe Conspiracy, thing may scare you, make you leave with a frown. Cafe Conspiracy, it's the place to be. Cafe Conspiracy, let's break it all down. Just you and me. Cafe Conspiracy. Cafe Conspiracy. We'll dig in deep, we'll talk about it all. So much to look into for us, one and all. You might wanna leave the lights on to make you feel safe. It may be hard to realize what's real and what's fake. The cup spins once, the silence gets loud. I hear your doubt move through the crowd. A little truth, a little dread, a little more when you nod your head. Really strange things that go bump in the night. Lots of weird feelings, can't tell if they're wrong or right. You want the answer, I want the side. We trace the clues along the line. Cafe Conspiracy, we will break it all down. Cafe Conspiracy, thing may scare you, make you leave with a frown. Cafe Conspiracy, it's the place to be. Cafe Conspiracy, let's break it all down. Just you and me. Cafe Conspiracy. Cafe sugar, keep the light, watch the shadow pass you by. If the world turns back on its own, we were here and now you know. Cafe conspiracy, we will break it all down. Cafe conspiracy, thing may scare you, make you leave with a frown. Cafe conspiracy, it's the place to be. Cafe conspiracy, let's break it all down. Just you and me. Cafe conspiracy. Cafe conspiracy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight for Cafe Conspiracy. This is our third episode, I think, on the new channel. And it should be quite interesting tonight. We're going to be talking about real, true to life hauntings. I'm going to cover the Sallie House first and foremost, and then I'm going to allow for people to join me up here to tell their own stories if they have any. And we're going to discuss them, the reality and the people that have experienced these things. That's going to be the conversation if you have. And if you haven't, then you haven't. No big deal. But if you are comfortable enough, I would love to have you join me to discuss it. I think it'd be awesome. So come on in and grab a seat, get comfortable, share this out. Please make sure to hit the like button. It looks like we have um, a whole 29 peeps in here tonight. Guys, please make sure to share it out. Let everybody know what we're doing. And 24 likes, 29 peeps, 33 people. There we go. It's going up. But I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy this stuff. This is one of my favorite topics. So I hope you enjoy it too. All right. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, I had to fix the one light. All right. See who we got joining us so far tonight. Mr. Leah Story's in the house. Jesse Lynn, moving forward. Sweet Pea, good to see you tonight, dear. Thank you for being here. Leah Story. Rubik's Cube, welcome back to you. Great to see you tonight. Michelle F., welcome, welcome. Self Help Disc, good to have you here. With Lisa Winchester. Wonder if there's any relation there to the Winchester house, Miss Lisa. That'd be another very interesting topic to talk about. CZ, welcome back. Great to see you. Blue Devil, welcome to the house. Great to have you in the cafe tonight. Baby Ames, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Dylan Dilly Dill's in the house. Junior, good to see you tonight, buddy. Welcome to the moderators joining us. Teresa LaMasters, good to see you tonight. Miss Becca, welcome back. Let me see. I think that's it, guys. 35 peeps. It's growing slowly. I don't expect as many people in here for this, but I do enjoy the conversations. Miss Rowe, great to see you. And love hearing other people's stories as well. And Stitches, great to see ya. That's right. Truthers, all the conspiracy theories are coming true. We have a T-shirt in the merch shop for the cafe um, that says, I need new conspiracy theories. All mine are coming true. Come on in, everybody. Like I said, at some point I will put a link here, allow people to call in or join me, whatever you guys decide you want to call that. And we will delve into that part of it too. Let me turn this down in the background here. And I'm doing this today. I know it's a weird time to make up for Sunday because I didn't get to do it Sunday because of Father's Day, unfortunately. So that's why we're here. All Right. So let me ask a question here. How many of you have heard of the Sallie House? If you have, raise your hand. I'm just kidding. Put a one in the chat for me if you've heard of the Sallie House. Absolutely, Lisa. I did cover the Winchester House a few years ago. It's pretty wild. That's the house that just keeps building itself. For those of you that aren't familiar, Miss Sluther, good to see you, dear. Most of you haven't heard of it. It looks like Blue Devil did. Good stuff. Let me ask another question because this is another story I'm going to get into too down the road. But how many of you have heard of the Octagon House in Kentucky? Octagon House. I'm sorry. Anybody? Everybody? Nobody? So you haven't heard of this one? Has anybody heard? If you've heard of the Octagon House in Kentucky, put a one in the chat for that too. That one is even more interesting. Very much so. We're gonna get into that one too. I've actually physically been to that one. I've also physically been to the Moundsville Reformatory in Moundsville, Ohio. Or I'm sorry, the Mansfield Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio, and the Moundsville, West Virginia State Penitentiary in West Virginia, of course. Mad Dog, welcome. Good to see you. And spent the night in both of those. I've spent the night in multiple houses as a ghost hunter. That's something that my wife and I and a group of our friends used to do all the time. We created a group called TRAP. It was stood for the Trumbull Researchers of Apparitions in the Paranormal. I took classes online to become a paranormal investigator. So I have a little bit of experience in some of this stuff, believe that or not. Yeah, it's kind of stupid the classes online thing, but hey, it is what it is. And we used to have a ball doing it, you guys. It's to some extreme, and then it got a little weird and a little crazy and a little scary to some aspect. And I started the group, and I still am. I started the group because I am very critical of it. I don't believe I'm one of those people that unless you show me something, I'm not going to believe it. So same with like aliens and all that fun stuff. Uh, Let me see it, and then we'll talk about it. So I'm very much a skeptic, very much. So that's why I started the group. Now my wife is a little bit different. She sees and feels weird things that she doesn't understand. So that's why that happened. Mackenzie Ray, welcome. Good to see you. And we'll talk about that more. Yes. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Same to you, dear. Miss I have not. No, I have not traveled that far, but I've heard that. Yes. There's many places that are like that. Dale Harrison, welcome. 48 beautiful peeps in the house, 31 likes. Let's see if we can make it match, guys, and at least try to get this in that algorithm. And guys, please make sure you leave me some comments after the show. I'd love to hear about it. The Low Hotel in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Yes. Point Pleasant, West Virginia in itself, the whole town has some interesting stories. I'll tell you that much. Hot Grandma, welcome to you. Go on a trip, everybody. Do it, do it, do it, do it. All right, let me see something. Give me 1 minute. By the way, happy Tuesday to all everybody. And I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you for joining us. Weston, yes, the Weston State Hospital. A friend of mine's family owns that. I've been there before too. Lemp Mansion in St. Louis. I'd like to check that out. A lot of places I would love to check out. Wellington, good night. Okay, well, I'm grateful that you stopped by. Thank you for stopping by. Good night then. Miss Musical Contessa, good to see you. Well, Wellington, have a great night. Sounds awesome, Sweet Pea. Lemp Mansion, St. Louis, of course. Ohio, I'm telling you, where I'm at, our state, a haunted Ohio is a real thing, folks. Huge. We have a lot of stuff in this state, truly. A lot, a lot. I could go on probably for a solid 6 months and talk about the stuff here in the state of Ohio. Cat K is in the house. Good to see you. 50 people. You guys rock. You guys rock. See if I can find something. Okay. Moonville. Yes. Let me go ahead and do this and get this over with. I just put it there now in case anybody does know this place. Okay. There is a link pinned for anybody that wants to join us tonight. But first, oh, where'd it go? What did I do? What did you do with it, Dago? That's it, right there. Okay. Yes, guys, please make sure to hit the like button and share this out if you will. So I'm going to move this right now so you get full screen advantage on this. And let's see what we got going here just to kick this off.
I got just a glimpse of that upper window of the face of a little girl. And I don't know who lives here. It's a boy, right? But I saw the face of a little girl in that window just now.
The exact date appears to be lost to time. But at some point in the mid-1800s, in the dead of night, Dr. Charles Finney, a medical practitioner living in Atchison, Kansas, heard a loud knock on his door. He cautiously opened it to find a woman, clearly distressed and holding her 6-year-old daughter in her arms. The young girl was in an incredible amount of pain. Dr. Finney realized that the girl's appendix was about to rupture and quickly took her to his operating room that was located in the basement of his home. Unfortunately, in his haste to help the girl, he incorrectly administered the wrong amount of anesthetic. The girl died on his operating table, screaming in pain as he cut into her.
Oh, welcome, Junior. How are you, sir?
That's a hell of a way to walk in. That's a hell of a thing to walk into.
That's why I did it. Welcome, Deb Tutro. Good to see you. Just kind of leave you guys hanging there. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Sinister Mill in Rogues Hollow, Ohio. Good one, Stitches. So what's going up with you, Mr. Dillon?
Oh, the just enjoyed my day off. Got me on the back end of an F1 race that I'm running right now. But
And you decide to join us, my friend. Interesting. I didn't know you were interested in that kind of stuff.
I'm more of the skeptic and don't really get too much into it. But I'm also one of those where, like, if you tell me to, like, oh, go spend the night at that asylum from 1863. All right, as long as the bed's not crap.
Uh-huh. No, I get it. Done the same thing. I've done the same thing. Very much so. Very much so. So I'm going to show a little bit of stuff. A little bit of stuff. Oh, good. We got another guest tonight, Sweet Pea. Now tonight, like I said, once we go through the Sallie House and I explain the whole story behind it to you, we talk about. I'm going to allow for all of. Of course, we have two guests already to call in or to join us up here to discuss any stories they may have for any, I guess, true interactions they may have had with something or they believe. So we'll see what happens. Welcome, Sweet Pea. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Good to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I've always been interested in this stuff.
Well, hopefully, hopefully this piques your interest for sure.
I'm excited.
Good stuff. Good. That's what I want. That's what I want.
I saw a great movie today called Obsession. It's a horror movie. Have you seen it?
It doesn't sound familiar, but I may have without even realizing it.
It sounds familiar.
I do that all the time.
It
Yeah, but
is. It was pretty crazy. I highly recommend it.
is there anybody in it like in particular that I might recognize?
No, it's actually like an indie film, and I guess it came out in 2025, which I guess it just came it was at the show, which I was like, okay. But
Okay, I just
it
wrote it
was
down.
yeah, there's nobody in it that I've ever like seen before, but
Where'd you find it at?
it was just it was actually at the movies. It was just playing at the
Oh, it's a new
movies.
movie. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, but it's an older movie, but I guess it just came here to the United States, maybe. I don't know. It seems like I said, it's an indie film, so I guess it just
got you. I will check it out for sure now.
yeah, Obsession. It was insane. I've never seen such a and it takes a lot to rock me. And I was creeped out, let me tell you.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I
That's
loved
always
it.
fun,
I know, that's why I loved it. I was so excited.
right? Have either of you two ever heard of the Sallie House?
I have not.
Okay, well,
Nor have I.
you're going to learn about it tonight.
I'm
Um,
excited
I've
to
been
learn.
I've been to Sally's house, but I don't think
I
not
knew
about
you
the
were going to
house.
say something like that. I knew you were going to say something. How did I know that? I just knew it. Um, but yeah, this is one of many quote unquote so-called haunted houses in the United States. Now, this is in Kansas, um, Atchison, Kansas, for those that are familiar with the area. It's supposedly one of the absolutely most haunted houses with actual experiences that have happened within the house to multiple people, poltergeists, um, what I call residual hauntings and things like that going on here. So, and then they believe that it's of the evil type. Okay, so I think we'll start here. In 1866, Michael Croman Finney, originally from County Cork, Ireland, he had purchased two lots in Atchison, Kansas. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's okay. Where he had been living in the downtown area for 10 years. Lot 9 on the map below, where he would build the Sallie House. And it's literally right here in this area. There we go. That lot right there is where the house was built. The adjacent property, lot number 10, which would be right here, a little bit of a bigger lot. The Finneys lived in and owned the property known as the Sallie House longer than any other family. The house was continuously owned by a member of the Finney family up until 1939. While the house was being built, it is believed that the Finney family lived in the basement as they were, building above. By 1871, the family was more than likely living in the completed house. On September 27th of 1872, Michael Finney died in the house at 10 p.m. The funeral was held in the house a few days later, and that's they used to do that back in the day. They would have you on display for the world to come see for a period of time. Then they would have the family lie in wake, as they called it. Then the family and friends could come by, visit, and then they would bury you. A
And
little
they would
different.
take photos too.
Yes, they would take photos of people with the bodies, and it's very strange stuff back then. But that was the way it was done.
Yep.
Some places they still do the lie in wake thing now to this day in other countries and stuff. And sometimes it's like a week or 2 weeks after the person has passed. It's wild. So,
Ugh.
yeah, yeah, they leave them there depending on their who they were in the community.
Oh,
They'll
like the Pope?
what? Yeah, they'll well, see, the people that have money around them, d they get treated a little different, but some of these, like, other countries, these people will lay there for a week or so to allow multiple people to come by so many times per day. It's a whole thing. It's weird. I looked into it a long time ago. And, like, I'm thinking to myself, "My god, I can't imagine the going to sleep in a house at night that" you know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
just
that would be so creepy. No way.
so yeah, it's so wild. So, just saying, though. Um, but anyway,
Y-
so
That actually reminds me. There was a photo that was taken in the early. It was early 1900s when photos took a while to actually
yeah,
take,
right.
and you can see two parents, and they're a little bit blurry. They're noticeably blurry, but not too bad. And then you
Mhm.
see then you see the baby right in the middle, and it's just like perfectly done.
Yes.
And it's like smiling. It looks happy, and the actual story behind on how the baby was able to stand still for so long because it was dead.
That's they used to take pictures of I actually a person I used to know when I was way younger as a friend of mine. They had twins and they were stillborn. Very sad. And she was just distraught, the mother was, and she forced her husband at the time to take pictures of her holding the babies, dressed them and everything as though they were alive. And I understand people have different ways of dealing with things. It was kind of traumatizing to me because we went in to see them to visit, and to wish her well and all that, and she wanted us to see her holding the babies. It was just it was off to me. I'm sorry, but that used to be a thing. Was they would take death pictures for people that just had passed away, newborns that were born, stillborn and stuff like that. It was a thing back then. It's so things have changed so much. It's very weird, very disturbing. But yeah, Hot Grandma says that's what the front rooms of your home used to be for. All these older homes, like the one I'm living in right now, is very old. The front living room, that's why people have what they call a parlor or a living room, and then they have the sitting room and so on and so forth. Different houses were built with those rooms to have the ability to do that. My grandmother told me a long time ago that a lot of the houses that are built with the window seats, that's what that window seat was for. And I was like, wow, okay. Whether she's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's just strange because I've lived in a couple houses that have those. I have one right now in my dining room. So, anyway, moving on. So it says here that again, Mr. Finney had passed away in the house on September 27th of 1872 at 10 p.m. The funeral was held in the house a few days later, and he was predeceased by one child who died in infancy and left behind his wife, Catherine or Kate, two sons, James and Charles, and a daughter, Agnes, and one son that was on the way. So his wife was pregnant when he passed. His youngest son, Richard Finney, was born May 25th of 1873, and he barely survived a year and died September 29th of 1874. Michael's eldest son, James, built the house next door in 1879. In 1881, James deeded his house to his mother and moved to St. Louis, in Missouri. James worked first as a city salesman for L.M. Rumsey Manufacturing, dealing in hardware and plumbing supplies, where he eventually became one of the best posted men in his line. Agnes Finney made several trips to St. Louis, probably to visit with her brother, who also frequently visited Atchison. In 1882, Charles Finney became a bookkeeper for Dr. Dan Holland, and later his office assistant. Charles' decision to study medicine was made at the suggestion of Dr. Holland. Charlie Finney, as he was called in the papers, was also an accomplished figure skater who, on December 27th of 1883, Charlie Finney and Ms. Florence Gourier won gold medals for best couple skaters. For some reason, Charlie fell out of favor in the sport and in 1885 was barred from participating in a competition. And I'm going to show you there's a news clipping that explains it. In his obituary, he was described as an expert skater who frequently dressed as a female and appeared on the ice billed as Ms. Colby of Baltimore. So we all know what that meant. That was not something that was recognized back then at all. And again, sadly, things like that back in the 1800s, early 1900s, for somebody that would have been trans or homosexual or anything, were taken to different hospitals and institutions and left there in some senses because they were abnormal. They were something was wrong with them. Which is, surprising to see that this gentleman had not had that happen to him because they did that a lot. Welcome, Captain Jenks. Good to see you, brother.
They did like to use the people like that for entertainment purposes, so it doesn't like if
Yeah.
they're performing for the rich people or like,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that. You can
They did a
see.
lot. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. And if it wasn't for entertainment purposes, then they would lock them away. They would use electroshock treatment to try to cure them, okay, as if something was wrong with them. Very, very,
Ice
very,
baths, all kinds of
all
things.
of it. Yes, every bit of that. Welcome, Stephen Fillmore. Good to see you today. Jason Purcell. Welcome, my friend. First prison been open for 5 years by states. Thank you. Captain Jenks, also good to see you. Captain Jenks likes this kind of stuff. Captain, we're gonna get to your thing one of these days here soon too, Cap. We're heading back into the Bigfoot territory. Cap loves the Bigfoot stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
god.
Like getting up and looking in the mirror every morning, isn't it, bud?
Well, wait a minute. Wow.
Oh, I
Oh,
got to get you back when I can. You know it.
Oh, that was a good one. I didn't see that one coming.
I mean, I do it like that, buddy. It's okay. I still love you either way. Doesn't matter. So anyway, back to the Finneys. Um, as again it said, he went as Miss Colby of Baltimore, skating so gracefully that few spectators knew his identity was truly a man. And this is where it states that it's very hard to see that he had been banned from the state or the skating thing. It says a prize of $5 in gold to the best gentleman skater in Atchison in New York, New Year's night at the Palace Rink, open to all gentlemen skaters except for C.C. Finney. A committee of ladies will give the decision. Music by Geo Ross Band, dancing at 10 p.m. Matinee for ladies and children in the afternoon. Admission 10 cents, skates 5 cents extra. A one-legged professional skater has been engaged for January. Tomorrow night, New
ah,
Year, a prize will be given to the best gentleman skater in Atchison, dancing at 10 p.m. Music by Geo Ross Band, big matinee in the afternoon for ladies and children. Admission 10 cents, skates 5 cents extra. So I've never seen anything like that in my life where they absolutely put in the article in the paper, everybody's welcome except for this guy. That's wild.
that is so wild. He
Like,
offended people, and it's so wrong.
yeah,
Well,
like literally, like, all you guys, come on, but CC, no, you stay away. Sorry.
Yep, I'm out.
well, I
That's
mean,
wild to me.
yeah, my guess is somebody spilled the beans that
Oh, definitely, definitely.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
because and I'm honestly surprised that that was the only response to it.
100%, 100%. There's probably could have been other things that we don't know that happened too. I can agree with that one. Believe me,
And
it's not a tease, Cap. We're gonna do it for sure, brother. Especially with this new channel, we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff like this.
And especially what was this
87.
1880s? Yeah, so I mean, at that time, political tensions were still high from the Civil War,
Oh, right. Absolutely, absolutely.
and Missouri being like on that line where you have half and half. So, I mean, it really could be a number of things.
Right. Yes, sir. You are absolutely correct. So, on October 27th of 1887, Charlie and a man named W.S. Anderson exchanged blows over an accusation that Finney had stolen his sister-in-law's purse from a dentist office. At the time the purse disappeared, there were only two men in the office, Charlie Finney and a stranger. Neither gentleman was accused at the time, and it was only later that Anderson went to the dentist office and accused Finney. When Charles heard that he had been accused, he went to Anderson's store and asked him to retract his statement. Words were exchanged, and Finney struck Anderson over the head several times with a heavy cane. Anderson's father, who was present, drew a revolver. Finney was not arrested at the time because Anderson feared that if he pressed charges, Finney would have his father arrested in retaliation. The next day, both Finney and Anderson were arrested for disturbing the peace and fined a whole $10, which, well, we all know that's like $50 or $100 back then.
I
Things
mean,
were
we were there.
they were
We,
handled so different back then, you guys. You see all that stuff? It's crazy. Hey, Jen, what'd you say, Dylan?
said you were there. You lived it. Well, what was it like that?
Yeah. Is that your get? He's getting me back now, guys.
Oh no, that was just a normal jab. Don't worry,
Yeah.
it'll
See,
be coming
see,
back.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So, in 1884, Charles received his medical degree from Beaumont Hospital Medical College in St. Louis upon his return to Atchison. Charles opened his office in the Martin Building at Fifth and Commercial. During his long practice, he was associated with Dr. William Bogle, Dr. Virgil Morrison, and for several years before his retirement, with his son, Dr. Charles H. Finney. There's one of those awesome photographs from back in the 1800s. Love it. Love the quality there.
The so that fine in today's dollars is actually $350.
See, that's a little bit more realistic, but can you imagine? So imagine like it was $10 to get into the skating thing and 5 cents to rent skates. That's just crazy to me.
No, it was 10 cents.
Or I thought it was 10 cents to get in and 5 cents to rent the skate.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Hey, no problem, Jen. All right, moving on. On June 26th of 1899, the house next door to the Sallie House that James had built was deeded to a woman named Johanna Barnes. Johanna was a recently divorced mother of three with another child on the way. Before moving into the house, Johanna had been institutionalized in the state hospital in Topeka for mental instability, which at that point could have meant anything. She could have cheated on her husband, okay, or looked at another man, and they thought that she was mentally disturbed, so they put people in the hospital for things like that back then. Truly and honestly, it's that ridiculous. Or anybody that had some form of a difference of a disability or something. That's what they did to people. It was so crazy, guys.
That's what I
So,
was thinking about the one-legged skater. I was like, oh well, they brought them out for the entertainment too, and then put them
uh,
back into the asylum.
yes, 100%. Women were treated like nothing back then, folks. They were absolutely nothing. It was horrifying and horrible, other than to give birth to children. And watch what you say, Dylan. I seen you lean forward. Watch what
I,
you say.
I did not say a word.
I know you, and these women will eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you better be careful. Just trying to help you out there, bud. Um, Rox, Ange, welcome. Good to have you here. But yeah, um, crazy stuff happening, guys. Crazy stuff. Where were we at? She was Judge Siva ordered her taken to the state hospital. Here's the reason. Okay. After she was brought before him, his verdict was rendered on the evidence of her neighbors, which showed that she was violently insane with a pugilistic tendency. On July 13th of 1899, Johanna's son, Frank Wright Barnes, was born. On February 18th of 1900, James K. Finney died at 10 p.m. at the Evergreen Hospital in Leavenworth, Kansas. He had been in the hospital for 8 or 9 months, suffering from paresis of the brain, also known as neurosyphilis,
Ooh,
which was a thing. It was a thing.
that's bad.
Pretty sure that Hitler had the same thing. And
Wait,
I
what
might
was
be
it?
off on this one. I think it was Hitler, and I think Al Capone had it too. And it causes like mental, yeah, like you go crazy basically,
Oh yeah, you go crazy.
crazy stuff, all because you can't keep to yourself. I'll just leave it that way.
Keep
They,
to yourself or wear a raincoat.
Uh,
exactly. Go
I'm trying.
ahead, Dylan.
No, I was trying to. I was trying to think because I don't think that's what Hitler had because
It was
outside of
either that
out,
or gonorrhea or something like that. I
it
think.
was I know Al Capone had something, but yeah, I was still trying to figure out what the hell pulchal
Yeah,
whatever.
Pugilistic.
yeah, what does that
Yeah.
mean?
That is. Hold on, and it's some of these things are so ridiculous, you guys.
So it's
Oh,
probably nothing.
hold on. I know that's what I mean.
I'll have Grok being able to tell me here in a minute.
So pugilistic tendency, what it means.
Boxing or fighting.
It says yeah, it can be relating to or involving fighting with the fist, especially professional boxing. The movie Rocky is a triumphant rags to riches, blah blah blah. Or she was fired for being pugilistic, wine tossing diva who fought with nearly everyone. So basically, she fought with people.
Just throwing punches
She was
and
just a rough and tumble type person. She liked to fight with people. So because of that, they have her brought in and put into a mental asylum. So hey, maybe she just had bad days. It is what it is. Anyway, um, let me see here. And then on November 9th of 1904, Charles Finney married Louise Zeibold, daughter of Herman and Rosa Zeibold. And in 1905, they moved into the house that they had built on the other side of his childhood, childhood home. Sorry. On April 18th of 1906, Johanna Barnes deeded James Finney's house to his sister, Agnes. Johanna and her children moved to Kansas City, Missouri, and she remarried her husband, Frank Barnes Sr. They took up residence at 330 Park Avenue in Kansas City on September 24th of 1906. Frank Wright Barnes, their son, died from carbomonoxide poisoning. We all know what that is. Johanna had apparently attempted suicide by turning on the gas in the downstairs room
ooh,
and napping on a cot with Frank. They were both overcome by fumes, but she survived. Wow.
ooh,
That'll do.
wow.
That'll do a number on you mentally. Charles H. Finney was born on February 17th of 1907 to Charles C. Finney and Louise Zeibold. And in 1913, Charles C. Finney was elected mayor of Atchison. Also in 1913, Agnes Finney married William True, an engineer for Burlington Railroad. By 1916, after a scandal arose over the selling of alcohol at the Eagles Lodge, oh my God, Charles Finney was forced to step down as mayor in a plea deal with the state's attorney, Bill Thompson. Just kidding. Just
Ha!
kidding.
Wouldn't surprise me with how old he is.
Right, exactly. It's probably his dad or his great grandfather. um, the same year, in December, William True suffered a stroke while vacationing in Wyoming with Agnes. Agnes brought him back to Atchison, where he would receive better medical attention. William True died on May 4th of 1918 at 7 p.m. A month later, on June 14th, at the home her son James had built for her, next door to the Sallie House, Charles had been treating her for gangrene in her foot, and she died from septicemia, or sepsis, you guys would know it as. Welcome, Ms. Noel. Good to see you. Again, Agnes Finney True lived in the Sallie House for the remainder of her life. For a time, she took in boarders, probably to help pay for her expenses. She died on November 28th of 1939 at midnight in her home. According to her obituary, she had been ill for several months before her death. And then her brother Charles died on March 24th of 1947 in Topeka. Now, I think the times, as they're telling you the times that these people passed away, are important for a reason. The times that this all happened, I think that plays into some of the hauntings that have happened in this house. Welcome, Miss Lucy. Good to see you, dear. So these are the Pickmans. There's an interview that was done with Deborah Pickman of the Sallie House haunting as featured in the Ghost Adventures episode, The Haunted Attic. And that's who we're about to talk about now. Tony and Deborah Pickman moved into the Sallie House during the winter of 1992. At the time of their move, they were not aware of any paranormal phenomenon that may or may not have occurred in the house. Their first paranormal experiences in the house started out small with cold spots and lights dimming, but slowly escalated to moving objects and physical attacks. The Pickmans lived in the house for 2 years. During this time, the family was featured on the television show Sightings. They also attempted multiple house cleansings, trying to rid the house of any activity. After 2 years of fighting, the family finally decided enough was enough and moved out. Their story is the first report of paranormal activity at the Sallie House. And this is a photograph that was taken of one of the Pickmans actually having like physical scratches and marks on her body. It doesn't really make it any bigger. It's hard to see. If you can,
I can see it.
okay. On her back, the three, and it's interesting because all the stories that I've heard, I think just about all of them where people have had physical interactions with an entity per se. It's three marks like this, almost like it's a claw or something. You
Like
know what
a
I'm saying?
talon or
Yeah,
something.
yes, the talent exactly. Welcome, JPP. Good to see
Ew, that's creepy.
you. Probably because from 2006, probably something that nobody else could take it, Lucy, and use it as their own. It's kind of wild though, and it is creepy. I agree. This is the first set of scratches that was found on Tony's back when this started happening. So the first mention of an entity named Sally came about in the early 1900s at the time that the Humbard family had moved in from 504 North 2nd Street to the Sallie House. It is reported that the daughter in the family, Heather, had an imaginary friend that she called Sally. Heather later identified a sketch by Tony Pickman, see below, as drawing of her friend. This is what she claimed that Sally looked like, her imaginary friend. That's copyrighted too, Lucy. Yeah, go
Just
ahead.
a
No,
just a quick just a quick correction.
yes.
The Sally didn't come about till the early 1990s.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on. So thank you, Dylan. 1990s, early 1990s. My apologies. Which would make more sense because as I was reading that, I'm thinking, how in the hell did that happen with the timing? But okay, good stuff. Miss Bianca, the beautiful Miss Bianca's in the house. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us tonight. Moonflower, welcome to you. Ms. Noel, of course. Ms. Mamikins, great to see you. No, you didn't miss too much. Don't worry about it. Welcome. Great to have you here. Let me see. Did I miss anybody? Blue Devil. I think I got everybody. If I did, I will catch up with you. And looks like JJPP dropped a new membership. Sorry. And I can't see who got it yet. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. Miss Kathleen, good to see you tonight. All right. Whoever did receive the membership, welcome to the sauce and the family. Thank you very much, Mamakins. So, the first time that the Pickmans came to agree on the name of an entity residing in the house took place after a coworker of Tony's referred his sister Barbara Connor, who reportedly had psychic abilities, to visit the house. While in the home, Barbara was able to communicate with a little girl who called herself Sally. Barbara reported that Sally was 7 years old and suffering from pains in her stomach and hand, and she had a toothache.
Did she call
Sally,
Dad?
do what?
Did she call Dad?
I knew one of you guys were going to ask that. Tooth and he strikes again. Absolutely. Absolutely. 1 minute here. Nope, it's not there. Okay. Moving on. So, is it Ruth Scudder? Thank you, Bianca. Welcome to the sauce, Ruth. Welcome to the family. We appreciate you very much, and thank you for joining us tonight. Um, and thank you again, JJPP. Appreciate that very much. All right. So, so that Sally was 7 years old, suffering from pains in her stomach and her hand, and she had a toothache. Sally also thought that Deborah Pickman was too bossy and had too many rules. Barbara cautioned the Pickmans about leaving their baby home alone because their baby alone, not home alone, leaving their baby alone because, like living children, Sally may unintentionally harm their son, Tyler. It was at this time that the drawing Tony Pickman had drawn, after having a strangely vivid dream, was said to be that of the spirit of Sally. Eventually, the Pickman story gained public attention, and the television show Sightings showed interest in the paranormal phenomena taking place in the house. On a third visit with the Pickmans, the Sightings team brought with them a well known psychic, Peter James. During his visit, he sensed that three people had died in the house, possibly referencing the deaths of Michael Finney, William True, and Agnes Finney True. He also believed that there was some medical circumstance connected to their deaths. This could be a reference to Charles C. Finney, who was a surgeon and a prominent figure in Atchison. That at the turn of the century, he had treated William True during his final days at the house. Agnes was also known to have had long-standing medical issues prior to her death, and Peter James also was drawn to a cemetery and a particular gravesite that was discovered to be that of Sally Isabel Hall, who had died in February of 1905. Sally Hall was an African American woman born in 1871 who lived in a home in an alley north of the Sallie House, just east of 2nd and Mound. Her age and ethnicity do not match the sightings that are shared by the Pickmans and several other individuals who have reported seeing Sally. Hall, according to her obituary, gave birth to 14 children.
Mm,
Only 14. 14 children, my
only
God.
14.
That's crazy. Welcome, Moonlight. Good to see you there.
That sounds absolutely awful.
Yeah. So, um, 14 children. It's so hard to believe.
Oh,
Jesus.
shoot. Only 4 of whom survived past birth. Oh.
Well, and that was something that went on a lot back then, too. So
Yes,
it's
it
sad.
did, because there's no like prenatal care and all
Right.
that.
Yes, absolutely. You are correct. Um, I just lost my like you said, only 4 of whom survived past birth. Many deaths surrounded the Hall family, but a connection to the events at the Sallie House has never been established. While Sallie Hall did not live in the house, there was one family who lived in the home and had a connection to the name Sally. In December of 1948, the Miz family moved into the house and they lived there for a short time. Sarah Margaret Miz, or Mizzy, whatever it is, the family's daughter reportedly went by the name Sally. However, she was still alive at the time of the Pickman's experience. Note, we cannot say whether or not she is still alive today. The most popular story about Sally's life states that sometime around the turn of the century, she was rushed to the home of the local doctor, presumably Charles C. Finney, after a night of abdominal pain. The
Mm.
surgeon quickly realized that the crying child was suffering from appendicitis and began preparing for an emergency appendectomy. It is said that the doctor started the surgery before Sally was completely sedated, and she ultimately died during the operation. This story, although well known, was reported as false by Deborah Pickman on the Sallie House website in 2008. This site is not currently active, the Sallie House website, by the way. There is no historical record of this ever occurring, nor of Dr. Charles Finney ever practicing medicine out of his home other than to treat family members, which is still illegal. um, If you would like to know more about what the Pickmans experienced, we highly recommend the Deborah Pickman's book. It's called The Sallie House Haunting, a true story, published by Llewellyn Publications in 2010. Very interesting stuff. So I'm going to play a little clip here. Let you guys hear real quick.
Charles Finney, who becomes important to this story, who was a doctor who had a practice in downtown Atchison. There are reports of this. We actually know the cross streets where it was at. This is important later. Remember that. Put a pin in that. He was also the mayor of Atchison from 1913 to 1916. And interestingly enough, stepped down after a scandal over selling alcohol at the local Eagles Lodge. And that was scandalous in 1916 because Kansas actually became a dry state in 1881. Kansas was like on the cutting edge of the Prohibition game, I guess.
And there's something to be on the cutting edge of.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Kansas is going to be on the cutting edge of anything. I guess it's Prohibition.
Exactly. The house is for real, folks. No lie. We have a couple people in chat that are familiar with it. Jen said she has been there. There was definitely something not right going on in the Pickman's life, in my opinion, from my research and so on and so forth. I'll just say that. At the very least, something is going on. Not sure what, but I've had some stuff happen, see? And I've heard a lot of stories like that. So, moving on. Let me play this other clip for you guys.
We listened to Deborah and Tony. We saw them speak, and one of the things that Deborah was talking about was, she thought someone was messing with them.
Yeah, So at the time, I was just about to say that Tony's brother, I guess, had a key to the house because Tony's family lives in Atchison, and he would come over, and she was convinced that it was him coming over and just messing with them. Before she jumped to, okay, maybe there's something a little bit more.
Which is, of course, what a lot of people do
yeah.
when they start having unexplained things happen in their homes. And so the beginning of the story of the hauntings, I think, is very similar to what you hear about a lot of people having hauntings in their homes. They think someone's messing with them. They notice little things out of place. And so that's all very, I'm going to say normal for someone
normal for the paranormal.
Normal for the paranormal.
And moving on. So, a little bit of history here. On this day in paranormal history, August 18th of 1634, French Jesuit priest Urbain Grandier is found guilty of magic malfeasance. Interesting. Malfeasance. Sorry. And possession.
Yeah, malfeasance.
Malfeasance. There we go. I could never say that word right. Sorry, guys.
No
and
problem.
Possession. And then he was later burned at the stake, which we all know, again, happens so often.
Yeah.
And then again, August 19th of 1692, 5 people are executed in the Salem witch trials. August 20th, 1890, birth date of H.P. Lovecraft, amazing author, amazing books that he was written. Call of Cthulhu and the Mountains of Madness, the Cats of Ulthar, and he defined the subgenre of cosmic horror. Anyway, so moving on. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, I guess that was it for that part of it. There's a bunch of other little things that were in here too. I guess I could tell you that story real quick. On August 21st of 19, because we're going to get back to the Sallie House in a minute, but I like how this has these little clips here. August 21st of 1955, the night of August 21st and into the early morning hours, 5 adults and 7 children claimed that aliens attacked their Kentucky farmhouse, causing them to hold them off with gunfire for 4 hours. The claims brought numerous law enforcement officers from local, state, and military installations to investigate the farmhouse. Though no evidence specific to aliens was found, these events became known as the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter or the Hopkinsville Goblins case. We're going to have to look into that one, you guys. And of course, Mr. Cap, here you go. August 22nd of 1930, Canadian Bigfoot researcher Rene Dahinden is born in Switzerland. He's a major advocate for the Patterson-Gimlin film about Bigfoot, that's the most popular Bigfoot film out there, and co-wrote the book Sasquatch. So these are just some other things. A little, I guess you could call them paranormal facts. August 23rd of '06, Ed Warren, famed demonologist and paranormal investigator, dies. We all know who he is. Ed and Lorraine Warren, and so on and so forth. So those are these are some other links that this has at this site here that I got that from. So that is the basis of the story from the Sallie House. So we're going to get into something more fun now with it. Give me a minute. If I can find it again. Hold on. All right. There you go. Go back to where you are. Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys. I thought I had these things organized and I didn't. So we left off. We left off with the little girl that was having the appendectomy. That was not fully. What do you want to call it? Under anesthesia, so on and so forth. Welcome, Tandy. Let's jump back into that story. Here we go.
This is the widely spread origin story of one of the most infamous haunted houses in all of America, the Sallie House. But while it makes for a creepy tale, it most likely isn't true, or at least there's no evidence that it is true. There are some elements that are though. Charles Finney was a medical practitioner that lived in the house. In fact, the house was built some years before the story is said to take place by a MC Finney. The house remained in the possession of the Finney family for years, and a number of them passed away within its walls. But there are no records that suggest a small girl named Sallie was ever treated there or lived there. But maybe these encounters with spirits that so many people claim to experience aren't the lost souls of the dead at all. Maybe they are manifestations of something else. In this episode of the Tape Library, we're going to be visiting the Sallie House and going over the terrifying experiences of the Pickman family and their shocking, violent encounters with something that appeared to be sharing their home with them. In the early 90s, Tony and Deborah Pickman moved into 508 North 2nd Street. What followed was one of the most well-documented hauntings of all time. A big part of this was due to the TV series Sightings, who carried out numerous investigations into what they referred to as the Heartland Ghost. Because of this, there are visual examples of many of the phenomena the family encountered during their 2 years living in the Sallie House. I'll link to the Sightings episode in the description if you want to watch these clips in full. I'm going to go over some of the most notable incidents in Deborah and Tony's time in the home. There are so many encounters they describe. I strongly recommend delving into some interviews with the couple if you want to learn even more. But here we go. Deborah was from Buffalo originally. She's always had an interest in the paranormal, but never experienced anything personally in her younger years. The two met in Kansas and bought the house in Atchison together when they were expecting their first child. Tony did not have any interest in the paranormal, though he was raised as a Catholic. It all started fairly innocently. Everything seemed fine when they moved in, but within a month of being in the property, they started to hear odd noises. Lights would flicker or dim. There were strange occurrences, but nothing that jumped out at them as specifically paranormal. Lights would dim while they were sat there watching TV multiple times a night. The chains on their ceiling fans would spin even when the fan wasn't on, or it would look like someone was almost flicking them. Again, nothing that they felt couldn't be explained as the wind or electrical issues. They contacted the landlord, but could never find any electrical problems in the house. The baby would wake up often in the night. Every time he'd fall asleep in his nursery, he'd almost immediately wake up again crying. Obviously not an uncommon thing for a young child, but the lack of sleep quickly started to become a drain on the Pickmans. Deborah's sister came to visit to help with the sleeping pattern. She took the baby downstairs and the baby slept through the night with no issues. The sleep disruption.
Thank you so much, JJPP. I appreciate that very much. Number one towards our goal tonight. Very awesome and very much appreciated. Thank you again.
Only seemed to happen when the baby was alone in the nursery. One night, Tony walked past the nursery and noticed the light was on, which was strange as the couple had only just gotten home. Sat in the centre of the floor were 3 of their baby stuffed animals, positioned sat up.
Yes, I'm making up for Sunday's show. I do it on Sunday nights now, and I'm making up for it today because I didn't get to do it Sunday because of Father's Day. I'm sorry, Mamakins. I don't mean to keep you up.
And in a circle. Tony went back down to talk to Deborah and her sister, who said they hadn't moved any toys. So they went back up and looked for any explanation, but couldn't find anything. They carefully put the toys back on the shelves, turned the lights out, and went back downstairs. By the time they'd reached the bottom, they had heard the lights flick back on. They walked back up. The teddy bears were back on the floor, with the lights on. This was the first time that something had happened in the house that the couple could not explain. Again, they turned out the lights and went back down. This time the light didn't come back on. But when Deborah went back upstairs 15 minutes later, the teddy bears were on the floor again, in the darkened nursery. They all stayed in the master bedroom together that night, with the family dog standing guard, and the door tightly closed. Speaking of their dog, it did not like entering the nursery, and was often found standing in the doorway, barking at seemingly nothing. From this point on, things started to escalate. Tony would hear footsteps running up and down the stairs at night. This happened often, and he was sure it was just their cats running around. One night, after being kept awake by the running, he went to the stairs to catch the cats and stop them. But they weren't there. Tony looked down the dark stairwell and heard the running quickly approaching him.
Welcome, Davey.
He then described what he felt was like a cold wind run through his body. And then the unmistakable laughter of children. One day, Tony was lying there having an afternoon nap, when suddenly he sat up, looked Deborah in the eye and said,
"He's mine,"
and then laid back down straight away. This happened early in the haunting, and at the time Deborah assumed Tony was having some sort of dream. Another morning, the family photos that were on the walls down the stairs were found placed upside down on the wall, with the glass cracked on one of them. Candles would randomly be melted. In one case, the candle hadn't even been unwrapped. It was still coated in what was now a melted plastic wrapper. On the candle, they saw what appeared to be a small handprint in the wax. What was interesting was that the wick was not burned. It was just as if something hot had been pressed against the wax of the candle. It wasn't long before the couple started to reach out for help, which ultimately led to the crew at Sightings visiting the property. While they appeared to be skeptical about the whole thing to begin with, the team became so fascinated by the family stories and captured such compelling evidence that they would return time after time to get updates on the case. Initially, during the Sightings investigations, the family's identity was kept hidden, particularly Tony's, who didn't want anyone to know it was him who was experiencing this. It was only after numerous investigations by the team that they were willing to disclose their identity. There would be random small isolated fires that would appear throughout the house, like sudden shots of flames that would appear and disappear in an instant. One time during a family party, A doll was found on the stairs in flames. The way it had been burned, it appeared that the fire only affected specific areas of the doll, almost like the flame had come from the inside to the out. The damage done to the Pickmans' belongings through these fires were really bizarre. They weren't seeing uncontrollable fire. The damage appeared to be extremely targeted, and somehow only able to damage specific parts of an object. This phenomenon was even captured by the sightings team during their investigations. Tony became convinced that whatever was doing this could potentially create a fire that, if unnoticed, could burn down the house, or even more unsettling, that if whatever this was that was waking up their baby could set the cot on fire. The family that lived there before the Pickmans also reported unexplainable fires in the home, including seeing the window frame of their nursery on fire. Deborah became convinced they were dealing with the spirit of a little girl who was desperately trying to get their attention. A suggestion that was backed up by the mediums the sightings team brought, who claimed they could see a little girl.
There's a little girl that's standing right there. Right at the top of the stairs. Hello? Hello? Look. Hello? Can you speak to me? Sallie? Is that your name, Sallie? Sallie? Okay.
The family and our sightings investigative team were amazed that Peter James had correctly named the entity.
They brought in a psychic to the home, who said that there was in fact the spirit of a little girl in the house, and that she just wanted to be part of the family. More specifically, she said she wanted to protect the Pickman's baby son. If you've been listening to the tape library for a while, you might notice the unsettling similarity to another famous paranormal case we've covered here. This is almost exactly what the entity wanted to do in the Annabelle case. It wanted permission to be part of their lives. Deborah felt comforted by this and felt the urge to nurture the spirit that would later become known as Sallie. But for Tony, something about it didn't feel right to him. He felt uneasy in his own home. But it seemed Sallie was much more interested in getting Tony's attention, and not in a positive way. One night, Deborah came out of the shower to find Tony complaining, "She bit me." Sure enough, on Tony's leg was a bite mark. This was the first incident of whatever was in that house causing physical harm towards Tony. But it certainly wouldn't be the last. It wasn't long after this that the scratches would start. Tony would often find deep red scratch marks on his body. Some would bleed. Others would be accompanied by sharp pain. Some would appear without any pain at all. Whatever was in their home had certainly appeared to take a disliking to Tony Pickman. Tony came home from his night shift one morning and got a glass of juice from the kitchen. He turned around to see a little girl standing at the entrance to the basement door. She wore what he described as an old white outfit, the sort of thing a little girl might have worn to church in the previous century. She stared at him. She looked terrified. Tony froze. It was only the realization that he could partially see through her that snapped Tony out of his almost trance-like state. He dropped his glass and ran upstairs to find Deborah. Tony later drew an image of the girl. Interestingly, a previous resident of the Sallie House claimed they had an imaginary friend while living in the house as a child. When they saw Tony's picture, they immediately recognized the girl as their imaginary friend. She called her Sallie. Other times, Tony saw what he thought was Deborah walking past him in the hall. It looked exactly like her, except she appeared to be wearing an old housemaid's outfit with her hair in a bun. But Tony is adamant that whoever this was had Deborah's face. He'd follow her into a room, only for the apparition to disappear. As we've already discussed, there is no evidence to suggest that there was a child named Sallie who died in that house. Tony saw more than one apparition in this house. Could whatever is residing in that house be taking on the form of others? A small child, Tony's loved ones, to lower their guard, to seem innocent, harmless, but deep down its intentions were much more nefarious. The possibility of this is potentially backed up by the next encounter Tony had. Tony was now hearing scratching in the walls when he laid in bed. He said it often sounded like 6 or 7 people were inside the walls, whispering, but he could never make out what was being said. One night he said he was laying in bed. At the foot of the bed was a window. He saw what looked like dust particles blowing past the window. But gradually the particles grew darker and larger. It drifted towards the bed and slowly took the form of what appeared to be a woman. An older lady, all dressed in black. She floated towards Tony. The drawers on either side of the bed were slamming open and shut. The waterbed that Tony was laying on was flopping around like crazy. He couldn't scream. The woman got closer and closer. Her arm shot out and reached for Tony's throat. The woman yells,
"I'm gonna."
as she reaches for his neck. Then suddenly Tony saw what looked like a giant black bird. The woman was gone. All the furniture stopped rocking instantly. Tony started screaming for Deborah, desperately trying and failing to open the door. Deborah was across the hall with the baby. She didn't hear a thing except for Tony yelling. A case of sleep paralysis? As an individual incident, it certainly seems to be the case. But when combined with all the other phenomena taking place in the house, it becomes a little harder to discount. Tony was beginning to fear for his sanity. This wasn't the only nighttime visit of a shape-shifting creature that Tony would experience. Tony also saw something that appeared to be the little girl approaching his bed again in the dead of night. The girl reached out for him a number of times, but Tony kept resisting. Suddenly the girl let out what sounded like a growl. Then it began to transform into something else. Something on all fours. Hunched over. With worms hanging off its melted flesh.
That looks
Each
like you in
time
the
the
morning, Michael.
sightings crew would come to visit,
Yes, sir.
I said that looks like you in the morning.
In the evening too.
the phenomena Tony was experiencing would get worse. The scratches, the visions, the sounds. Each visit from the crew would make things worse for Tony. The crew would check Tony for scratches anytime he was going to be left alone, like if he went to the bathroom, just to make sure he wasn't doing them to himself. Many members of the sightings team were skeptical of the whole thing, but then saw scratches appearing on Tony right before their eyes.
New welts began to form on Jeff's stomach. Then, I was shocked to see mysterious welts forming on his forehead.
The initials MC were scratched onto Tony's body on camera while the sightings crew were filming.
You're in control here, so don't.
MC.
A strange coincidence, since the house itself was built by a Michael C. Finney. They apparently have a 9-minute clip of a scratch slowly appearing on Tony's torso. Just as a warning before we get into the next section, there are some
Trigger warning. This video includes sensitive and violent content that may not be suitable for all viewers. This video is for 18 plus only.
Just in case.
Some descriptions of violent impulses, and more specifically animal cruelty. If you want to skip this part, then please do so. Tony said he turned into a different person. He would hear voices saying horrible things, such as telling him to kill Deborah. In the final months, when Deborah would walk past him, he'd be overcome with an intense urge to harm her in some way. An urge to get her out of the way, as he said. If he left the house, he felt fine. A dark anger was overtaking him in this house. He would have vivid dreams of cutting her throat with a butcher's knife when she would come home from work. One morning he woke up full of hateful thoughts. He went into the kitchen, took out a butcher's knife, saw their pet cat in the kitchen, and blacked out.
Now, interestingly enough, anybody that knows the story behind the Amityville story,
Yes.
okay, the true story is a little different than what you've seen on the movies, okay? Welcome, Sylvia. But there were some parts of one or two of the different stories that were told that were a lot like that. George Lutz, or Lutz, whatever you want to call him, had made some statements that he felt the same type of way during his experiences, so on and so forth. I actually dealt with a situation like that once before too, that somebody came to me for that I didn't even know how to react to, because I never got into that side of things, like hands-on. But interesting. Just letting you guys know, if anybody had, knows that story as well, here it is. Same type of thing. So, one of my girlfriends was convinced demons were attacking me at night. I've heard I go crazy places in my sleep. I mean, anything's possible, Davey. Anything's possible. All right, let me go.
Later that day, he was at his parents' house. He returned back to the family home to find the cat stabbed with a knife and pinned to the kitchen counter. Tony says he has no memory of harming the cat, but is sure he must have done it, a fact that still haunts him to this day. This, alongside his dark thoughts towards Deborah, are something that he is obviously deeply ashamed of, but he says he speaks about it to make people aware just how disturbing hauntings like this can be. There was a darkness in their home, whether literally the result of a ghost or something more psychological, that was transforming Tony into someone he didn't recognize. Tony did seek out psychological help, but nothing clinical appeared to be wrong with him. The only way he could be free of these violent impulses was to get out of this house.
Probably every one of your television viewers ask is, why do you stay here? Why don't you just get out? What holds you there? Curiosity. There needs to be more data so that we can know what exactly this is, what causes it. Why do these things happen to certain people, certain places, certain times?
Tony tried to talk to Deborah about how bad things were getting, but she was so excited and fascinated about the entire thing. She wasn't experiencing any of the negative aspects of the haunting. She says that her reactions now don't make any sense to her, but at the time she was so wrapped up in the entire thing that she was almost blind to the effects it was having on her husband. She was completely naive to the very real danger it appears she was in. One day, Tony was thrown into the rungs at the top of the stairs, breaking several of them, as if something was attempting to throw him over the banister and down the stairs. For some reason, this was the incident that made Deborah realize that things weren't right, and they needed to leave. Within 3 weeks, they were out of the house. People would ask them how they stayed so long, but they said they would experience this phenomena, and then it would stop. Months would go past without anything happening. They'd begin to doubt themselves, thinking maybe it was all in their heads, or whatever was there had left. And then it would start up again. Little waves of paranormal activity that gradually became more and more dark and violent. The basement is said to be a focal point of something within the Sallie House. There is an area in the back where a number of bricks have been removed, leaving a dark hole. Tony said he never felt any urge to go down into the basement and would avoid it as much as possible. After the Pickmans left, a woman moved into the Sallie House. After some time, the landlord was called, as she had apparently been trashing the house. The landlord evicted the woman. After that, he visited the property and discovered in the basement a number of strange markings and names on the walls. In the middle of the floor, the woman had painted a pentagram. Apparently the woman was very solitary, had few belongings in the house, and it appears was primarily using the property for whatever ritual she was attempting to conduct. Many paranormal researchers and TV shows have investigated the Sallie House, including the popular show Ghost Adventures, in which the host brought Deborah and Tony Pickman back with them to the house. Tony claimed that he had heard so many EVPs people had recorded over the years of the voices of little children that he began to feel guilty, like maybe there wasn't something demonic in this house. Maybe they're just lost children trying to communicate. This led to him returning to the home. Yet again, Tony experienced a whole host of violent interactions, with welts appearing on his neck. Other guests experienced scratches and witnessed odd phenomena. Tony isn't alone here. Many who have visited the Sallie House report, no matter how terrifying their experiences might be inside its walls, a draw to come back, just something in the back of their minds that tells them they need to return. But for what reason? There are countless examples of video, photographic and audio evidence from the Sallie House. The Sallie House has become one of the major tourist destinations for ghost hunters all across the world. And because of this, there are so many investigations that have taken place within the property. What is remarkable is that so many others appear to have had experiences that back up some of what the Pickmans have been talking about. I'm going to leave you with one specific piece of evidence that was recorded during an investigation into the Sallie House. I try not to talk about my own personal beliefs on this channel, but I like to see myself as an optimistic skeptic. I have no evidence for the existence of ghosts or anything paranormal, but a part of me really hopes it's true. Additionally, this is a horror channel. I'll never knowingly include any false information in the video, but I do take things as much as I can at face value, because I'm telling the stories in the way they were originally reported. As far as evidence of the supernatural goes, I have never heard or seen anything that made me go beyond a, that's strange. EVPs in particular. While I've heard some really creepy ones, part of me always thinks this could be easily faked or could just be a strange sound happening in the distance from a very mundane source. I heard this clip I'm about to play you 2 years ago, and it has never left my mind. The moment I heard it, I froze in my seat, re-listened to it, and then played it to anyone I knew who would be interested. The podcast Astonishing Legends carried out an investigation into the Sallie House back in 2018. Now, it's worth pointing out this podcast, if you're not familiar, generally doesn't do this sort of in-person investigating. They do deep dives into all sorts of unexplained stories and try to prove or disprove it as best they can in their usually grounded and level-headed manner. They are not a ghost hunting show, nor do they overly dramatize their stories. I strongly recommend their series on the Sallie House if you are interested. It goes for hours, covering the history, interviews with the Pickmans, and others involved in the house, as well as breaking down their own investigation, and even attempting to debunk the evidence they themselves collected. On July 20th, 2018, they placed an audio recorder, a Panasonic RR-DR60, in the nursery room at the Sallie House. The recorder is set up so it only records when it hears a noise. They placed the recorder in the room quietly left, and then returned a few moments later. No audio effects have been added to this file beyond an increase in volume. Many who have listened to this recording have experienced traumatic sensations, so please do so at your own risk.
Okay, file 10, putting this down, I'm going to leave this here for about 5 minutes. If there's anything you want to say, any message you would like to share with the world, leave it on this recorder, and we will share it. Leaving now, closing the door. No one else is in this room this time. Coming back into the room. I'm going to take the recorder. Thank you for your time. Wishing you peace.
Whoa.
That was freaky.
Yeah.
That was
I've
some
done EVP sessions many times. I've actually picked up voices, words, things like that. Nothing like that. That kind of freaks me out a little, to be honest with you.
that just sounded like intense static to me.
It does, but in the situation that you're in there doing, it would be something that would definitely make me look twice.
I don't know. It sounded like moaning or like wailing, kind of. I don't know. To
It
me,
could be depicted as that for sure. Um, for sure. All right, give me 1 minute here, guys. Want to give you a little more. 1 second.
yeah, I didn't like that. That sounded
It is.
demonic,
Yeah, it's creepy.
in my opinion.
Okay, guys, I'm going to give you now. For those of you that, of course, are interested, not very long, but it's an interview with Deborah and Tony Pickman. This was done. Hold on. Sorry. I don't know why I do this all the time. Bear with me. October 15th of 2017, and it was done by Into Paranormal Kansas crew, which is a paranormal group basically along the same lines as what I did. So, this is Tony and Miss Deborah Pickman that lived in the house that we were talking about earlier. And here we go.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
just wondered if you guys could tell us a little bit about what brought you guys to the Sallie House to begin with, like when you guys moved there.
Take that one. Or...
She's moving
history.
She gives the whole thing.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I loved it. Yeah, we were just growing our family. We found out we were pregnant. We needed, another place to be, and it was a quick decision. It was right next to where his brother lived, and he had a bird's eye selling advice that it was open. It was newly renovated, and so we kind of jumped on it before it was even like out on the market, and it looked perfect for us. It had an open floor plan, which I love, and room to grow our family. So
it's a fairly old house too.
We learned that after, and once things started getting like a little weird in there, we started doing some history on it and found out it was 128 years old. Wow. And that was 20 years ago, so it's almost 150 years old now.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
history.
houses in
It's old town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me your first experience with the house that made you question things.
I'd say the first one that actually made me question, we have little things. You get up to go to sleep at night or go to bed, and the TV might turn on and off 4 or 5 times when you're going upstairs. You have to keep coming down.
The electricity, something in the kitchen would ding a timer, or the microwave, or the oven, or something.
Ceiling lights in the living room and dining room would blink off and on, but there were still things that you could, at least we did. We were like,
People
we must
want
have
to
a
be
short in
logical about it.
electricity.
You don't automatically jump to the conclusion that, we've got ghosts.
I think the first thing for me that I started thinking was I would get up in the morning and come downstairs, and there were pictures we had hanging on the stairs, and they would be turned upside down. And usually there's one in particular of her and me that seemed to be every morning I come downstairs, it was upside down. And I can figure out, why would she do that? Was she trying to tell me something? But that was probably the first thing that just seemed strange. I couldn't blow it off. It was like an electrical short or wind blowing through the house or anything like that. And then we had the candles.
Well, I think the candles were after. I think the first big hello smack in the face was the night with the bears.
Yeah, that was weird. That was we'd come back from my parents' house, I think.
We spent all day. My sister had come up because we were having problems with the baby sleeping. And my sister came up for a week to try and give us a little bit of rest. And oh my God, it was like a godsend. Mm-hmm. We were the most exhausted parents because the baby through the night would wake up like every hour and an hour. And he'd be clean, he'd be dry, and he'd be not too warm, not too cold. We just couldn't figure out why.
How old was your baby at this time?
He was newborn.
Okay.
He was born in the house in June of '93. And so when she came to visit, it was wonderful. She had the baby downstairs. Baby slept almost through the whole night, except for one midnight feeding. He was only a month old, so he was still feeding at night. And so her last night there, we went and we got a bunch of scary movies, and we got snacks to eat. We figured we would just hunker down in the living room. And you had gone upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back downstairs and he said,
I'd gone up to put the diaper bag away. And when I went up, I turned the light on, and there were, I believe it was 3 teddy bears or 3 stuffed animals that were sitting in the center of the floor, just kind of each like in a circle. And I thought it was weird because anybody knows her, she's very anal about everything's in its place. And I thought, now why would she leave those there? And so I just come down and asked her, I said, were you and Karen playing with the baby upstairs? Because stuffed animals were on the floor, and she was clueless what I was talking about. So.
Dad, I didn't understand I couldn't fathom what he was talking about.
So we ventured back up there together and looked. And
when we got up there were a lot more than that. There were more than 3. It was like every stuffed animal from the shelf and from
had been
the rocking chair and the cradle. We're all in the floor. And
we kind of, especially me, because I'd been up there once, I was kind of like in shock, like, what the hell is
And we looked at each other thinking one of us was going to like give it up and say, oh, I get it.
It was
And
pretty funny because we started looking in closets. We're like, okay, my little brother's hiding somewhere in here. We're opening doors looking for
well,
anything.
and when we put everything back and went back down the stairs, we shut the light out and everything. By the time we got down to the bottom of the stairs, the light turned back on again. And we're all kind of like, oh my God. And we all, race back up and there's a bear sitting in the middle of the floor. So at this point, we know we've been within feet of each other.
Yeah.
And so that's when we started looking for strings and magnets. The windows in the room had been shut. So it wasn't that. We started looking for people in the closets and under beds and just to rule out everything possible. And then we went back downstairs and, you try to mull it through your head and,
we were just making each other more scared.
Yeah.
It's so many things were happening when you guys would have family and friends over too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have company over and, one incident, I remember we had a wooden rocking horse for the baby and we were sitting there at the table talking, all of a sudden the ears of it just lit up on fire. And the fire was kind of like you'd light a torch.
Yeah, a torch.
Just straight up. And then it went out. And we went over there and our friends were like, what the heck, freaking out. And we're freaking out. Went over and the ears were actually, if you read the tag on it, flame retardant. So that really, but it was weird stuff like that ears would light up. We had somebody was sitting around the table again and we were having a birthday party for Taylor, I think it was. And we were all talking and everybody saw a light kind of fly under the table.
And was like bubbled and brown or black. And
it was burnt like from the inside out. So we had a lot of
things like that.
It's crazy. You guys rented, you didn't own a house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, while you lived there, caught some amazing pictures while you were there. Can you tell us a little bit about those pictures? There's one like with a shadow in the toilet room, I believe.
Yeah, newborn, you're snapping pictures all the time. And,
sure.
You don't think about it. You just, and went to Walmart and haven't had them developed and went back to pick them up. And I'm standing at the register in the lines, long at Walmart, of course. And
this is before digital.
We're talking 20 years ago.
Exactly.
And so I take them out of the pack, and the first one on the top, which wasn't the first one on the negative, but somebody else thought it was interesting too because it was on the top. My knees about buckled, literally, because it was like just this mass over what I had taken a picture of my son's crib, and it just. It's hard to describe, just it was like a black dread just fall from,
Good night, Jen.
into your chest, into feet. And and it was just the creepiest thing. And there were two of them that were like that.
Had the blue on them,
that had the blue
shadow
on them.
kind of figure looked.
And he thought,
Yeah, I didn't think much of it when I saw those two. I thought, well, somebody spilled ink or something on them when they were developing. And then we flipped to a few more and we had, no, I guess those came later. The ones from the Barber's visit.
Yeah. Eventually, sightings, we had been invited to partake in the sightings episodes. And one of the things that we kind of set forth first is that, if you want to use these photos, check these photos out first and debunk whatever you're going to debunk. Don't put us on national TV and do this. Make sure that these are the real things.
We don't want to say we have a ghost.
Because we're not, we're not saying they're paranormal, but they look awful creepy.
And that picture of your son was in this book, isn't it? With the mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's unfortunately not as many pictures in the book as I would have liked to have had. I would have liked to have had a whole, section in the book of pictures and that, and color, no less. But not this one, I guess.
Well, that one stood out for me.
You guys sought sightings out, right? Or did you send them the pictures or?
No. When we had that trouble the night with the bear, or bears, and you didn't even hear the funniest part about that. We all
Sour
were
treats.
we grabbed everything, couch cushions, so Tony would have something to lay on. We grabbed the dog, the 2 cats, the baby, all the baby's diaper stuff, any snacks we wanted from the kitchen that we ever thought we would need, a cooler with milk in it and stuff. Everything we thought, the TV, the VCR, we all stuffed it in our bedroom. And we hid. And thought we were safe.
Yeah, from a ghost, we hid in the room.
And we look back now thinking, ghost, entity, whatever it is, must have been just laughing there. Thinking these people, can you imagine
You do
watching
wonder.
us? Yes.
What they see, what they're pointing at.
What are these stupid people doing?
I feel kind of stupid sometimes doing an investigation with some of the things that I say. Like, they're probably wondering, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Why is he saying that?
That's why.
Why is he asking me to tap on the wall?
That's why I kind of, when we go into investigations, and try and think of, them as just regular people, and thanks for letting us come in today, and it just, because then you don't sound so stupid, and they feel more like they're respected, I think.
Are you there, Dago?
Dago.
Alrighty.
Sorry, guys. I thought you guys heard me say I had to run the bathroom real quick.
Oh, no, we didn't hear you. Sorry, dear.
Sorry about that. But anyway, and Mandy Joe, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Number 2 towards our goal. God bless. So, any thoughts? Anyone?
I thought they were really, I guess that's probably a coping thing. They just laughed like a lot.
Kinda. That's my guess too. When you're uncomfortable.
Because this was like some crazy stuff,
Yeah. It definitely, I agree with you on that one too.
I'm kind of digging a little bit to see if I can find any sort of connection pre-building to that area in the name Sallie.
Gotcha. And I do have I have somebody that spent the night in the house that can kind of give a up-to-date, this is what happened to me type thing. You guys are interested in seeing that as well. After the fact.
Sure.
So just to get his take on it, rather than just taking the Pickman's word for it, because again, I'm a skeptic, like I said, and because of that, you got to show me something for me to believe that something's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You can tell me everything you want. I want to see it.
Yep.
So I have a couple versions of it. Let me see if I can find the one I have.
I will say with what I have found is Lewis and Clark actually spent 4th of July in 1804 in that area.
Okay.
I checked to see who was all a part of the expedition.
Mhm.
Nobody named Sallie. It was just Sacagawea.
Right,
was
right.
the only female.
Good point. Good to know. Very helpful. Say that again. You broke up. You still there?
I can hear you, Dago, but I can't hear Dylan.
I can't hear Dylan either.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I thought you just cut off in the middle of what you were saying. No worries. Hey, there's Bubbles. Decided to join us. She doesn't like this stuff too much. Not very fond of the scary stuff. It could be. All right, so I'm gonna go with the Phantomette Freak Show. I have a couple versions of this. I kind of like the way she covered it, the way she did it. But hold on, and I can only use certain ones too because of YouTube things. So
Oh, right.
let's try this one out. Like I said, it's all up to your interpretation. It always is. And then, like I said, once we see this, then we're going to go ahead and move on to. I want some people to tell some stories, if you're interested, of course. Love to hear them. All right, guys, let's check it out. Again, thank you all that are here for joining us. I appreciate you very much. Please make sure to hit the like button, if you will, please, and thank you. And share it out.
And that house, like, actually terrifies me. It's the only house that I'll never, ever return to.
I already cannot believe the words that are about to come out of my mouth right now. I'm about to stay completely alone overnight with a sleeping bag on the floor of the Sallie House.
Today, the story goes that the spirit of a little girl named Sallie now roams free. From the creepy cellar to an upstairs room filled with toys. Even the professionals are wary of this place.
6-year-old Sallie died on his operating table.
My knowledge going into this house was extremely limited. If I knew what I know now, I don't know if I would have spent the night alone. Every story I'm finding is about a little girl named Sallie who had a botched appendicitis surgery and passed away. Now, I want to tell you guys the real story about the house because I don't think enough people talk about the real story, and I think it's way scarier than the possibly fabricated story of this little girl. After my stay, I stopped at the gift shop, which is located at the visitor center, and got this book, which is written by the family that lived in the house in 1992. Their names were Deborah and Tony, and they were a couple that was expecting a baby. So they needed a place to go, and this is the house that they found, not knowing what they were getting themselves into. The activity started for them just a couple weeks after they moved into the home, and most of the activity centered in the nursery, which is Sallie's room upstairs. Deborah and Tony's experiences in the house were completely different. Deborah had more of a positive experience, and she really felt like she was connecting with the spirit of a little girl. Tony, on the other hand, he was basically tortured by whatever entity or entities are in this home. Over time, he ended up seeing other apparitions in the home, one being a man, and they caught him in the picture. He wears all black with a hat on and holding a bayonet or a sword or something. The other entity he would see would be a woman, and she would kind of change outfits and change forms. Sometimes she would look like his own wife. Every time she appeared, she didn't seem happy. She was very angry and very aggressive with him. Tony began getting scratched over and over again to the point where he would bleed. Family and friends were really skeptical about their story. So these people started going to their house to kind of prove that this wasn't real. And everyone that would leave a believer. One thing I did not know, which is very relevant in my episode, is that the most common occurrence that would happen to this family in this home was random fires that would spark up. Candles that were unlit would suddenly be lit with no matches or lighters around. And to spare you guys the details, I'm just going to say that 2 cats essentially met their demise in this home by the hands of Tony. The family became pretty desperate, so they ended up calling in a psychic named Barbara. Barbara had no knowledge of this place, and as soon as she went, she said that she was picking up on a spirit of a little girl, and she came up with the name Sallie. The house began to attract a lot of attention, and the show called Sightings back in the 90s ended up reaching out to them to try to come to the home with experts and prove or deny whether this haunting was legitimate. They were not able to debunk anything. Every picture was real, every audio file, all of the scratches being formed on Tony's body were caught literally on tape. I recommend watching this documentary. I will put the link in my description. While the sighting show was filming in their home, it attracted the attention of an old resident that used to live in that home. She ended up telling them that her daughter, when they used to live there, had an imaginary friend named Sallie. According to Deborah, who lived in this home, when all of this stuff was happening, she decided to dig into the history herself. The house was originally purchased in 1872 by Kate Finney, and it stayed in that family for 3 generations. She looked at every name. She could not find a Sallie that passed away in this home. But of course, the story goes that it was owned by a doctor, and that is true. The doctor is in these documents. However, I can't find anything that really proves the story that that little girl Sallie died from the doctor in that house. If you have proof, hand it over, please. I want to see it. I think this is a good example of sometimes the real story is scarier than fiction. With ghost hunting, I understand that people lean into the darker side, into the demonic side of things. Now, I don't typically encounter things like that. I'm completely open-minded. I'm open to experiences. But
Have a great night, Sweet Pea. Thanks for joining us. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I can't wait to watch the rest of this later.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
But I'm just gonna go in with no expectation, and we're just gonna see what happens. The amount of time that I've been sitting in this car just staring.
Yes, sir.
Where's the burn damage if like random parts of the house are catching on fire?
I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. Most of it was like, I think teddy bears and stuff like that. So I think they put, cleaned it up, got rid of it, all that kind of stuff.
Didn't they say like the windowsill?
Yeah, I probably cleaned it, fixed it, type of stuff. That's the only thing I can think of. I've not seen any photographs of it either, though. That's the other thing. So, just saying, is it real? Is it not? Is it a conspiracy? Maybe.
I'm not convinced.
Well, of course not. That's the whole point. So on we go. It's a good question, though.
Staring at the house, not going in. I just texted Jade from Ghost Club Paranormal to ask if she's been here, because I'm sitting here in the car. I'm in a town I've never been in, and the houses around this house look even spookier than the house that I'm about to stay in. There's no workers. They just give me a keypad code to get inside. So I'm going in blind, not knowing where anything is, but at least I have you guys here with me. I'm gonna do a walkthrough first, and then I'm gonna come back to get my stuff because I'm nervous. Guest book here. Oh, I will have fun reading this.
Well, the footage they're showing is from when the Pickmans lived there.
Basement closed. For safety reasons, the basement is off limits.
Oh,
that's due to the fact that there's mold in the basement.
Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack because that makes me nervous. Because how do I know?
Did you say something?
I said, "Oh, that's no fun."
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, there's mold in the basement, from my understanding, because the house is 30 years old now.
Oh, it'd be almost 150. It'd be 150 at this point.
150 years old. I knew it was up there. Yeah, something like that. I'm not the greatest with quick math, so yeah, you are correct, sir. Definitely up there.
Almost as old as you.
Keep it up. More Twinkies for you.
It's all right. I got Pop Tarts.
You miss those too.
What do we have here? Sally began writhing with pain, her fears increasing after eyeing the doctor's surgical instruments as he carefully laid them out for surgery. The doctor knew the appendix would soon burst and began cutting on the child before the anesthesia took full effect. I'm assuming this is
Horrible.
Sally. I don't know if this is a true, real picture of her. I'm assuming this is a verified story, but I personally don't 100% know. I will look into that. This basement stuff's really gonna bother me. It's gonna like, I don't want to try to go down there. I don't know. Okay, at least I can see. I won't go. I just want to make sure. Hello. Hello. I wish I could lock it from this side at least, so nothing comes up.
I think she's a little scared. Just a little.
The family lived in the house for nearly 2 years. The last straw was when the husband felt a strong shove from behind and his feet left the floor. The push left him flying in the direction of the railing at the top of the stairs. Damn, that would not be a good staircase to fall down. That is steep.
The first signs of something out of the ordinary began when the young couple moved into this 128-year-old house in January of 1993. At first, the haunting activity was subtle and only seemed to be occurring in one small bedroom at the top of the stairs.
Okay. Oh God, I almost fell up the stairs. These are a weird distance apart, these stairs. Oh my God, I thought there was someone in that room. I think I just saw a stuffed animal. Oh God, this is not sturdy. Oh. Hello. Hi. Sally, my homegirl. It's just like a floor creaking sound. This is really pretty. Whoever drew that, props to you. That is sick. Sally, I actually brought you a toy that I wanted to give to you. I'm going to have to get it out of the car, but it's all yours. I'll add it to your collection. Oh, sick. Look at this toilet. So I have to remember that this vent is making that sound. So I don't think it's like something ghostly later. Ooh, pretty room. Please do not touch glue drying. Got it.
I'm getting a lot of resistance right here at the door, meaning whatever is in the room wants me out.
I love rooms that have a cool drop-down ceiling like this. Ooh, another story for us. One day during a normal Sallie House tour, a 4-year-old girl became missing. The girl was found in a closet with the door closed. She later said, "I was playing with that little girl." Had Sally found a playmate? Kid could have
Oh, hell
saw some
no.
kind of spirit. See, if I was a kid, I would be in here too, because this is like a really cool little hangout spot. Money left in Sally's wish box is donated to St. Jude's Hospital for Children. That's adorable. I will leave something in there for you. What am I hearing in the attic? What if there's an animal up there? Great, and please, please, please don't push me down the stairs tonight. Oh my God. Maybe he didn't get pushed, because I almost went down these stairs. Like, these are not good stairs. Knowing what I know now, I completely disagree with my own statement here, and I think it's important that I read Tony's actual account of these events. Tony said, "I wasn't thinking about anything in particular, just going about my day. I had just gotten out of bed and was going to head down the stairs. As I approached the doorway, I was suddenly struck from behind with great force. It felt like someone had run up behind me and shoved me as hard as they could. My feet left the floor. I was airborne and flung towards the upstairs railing, which was about 3 feet in front of me. My upper thighs hit the railing, and my knees, legs, and feet inadvertently knocked out 3 of the rungs below it.
I would have moved that day.
Slumber party! Moving in. It's my house now. This is where I live. I'm completely alone this time, so.
Oh my God. Yeah, you could pay me anything to be alone in that house. But you know what? I think the house has its days. Hopefully you still get activity, but hopefully it's not that dark for you because, yeah, I was going to just call you to just kind of explain what happened. I was under a Delco session. It's kind of like the Estes, but with the red flashing goggles.
Yeah.
I just remember I was sitting on the floor with my legs crossed and my back against the wall. And I just started to feel it felt like there was something on the back of my neck just pushing my head further and further down. My heart started going it just randomly just started going 250 beats a minute. And then I was took a deep breath and then threw the headphones off and then grabbed Mandy. They had to both help me downstairs. I was shaking. It was I was having a seizure. We got across the road and it was raining and I just burst out crying. I've never experienced anything like it before. We've had so many people reach out to us because your episode, I'm going to go to the Sallie House now and call out whatever attacked you. And I'm do not say my name. I do not even want my name spoken in that house. The fact that I even called you and I know that you're in that house actually terrifies me. It's the only house that I'll never ever return to, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, the stairs are so sketchy. I almost fell down the stairs. They're not normal, height.
Oh.
What the fuck was that? And music just played somewhere. What the fuck? What was that? There's a whole trumpet playing. I don't know what that is. Anyway.
Maybe one of the children's toys?
I don't, maybe. Yeah, possibly. I'm not planning on going up there at the moment. I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. What did I get myself into? I'm gonna go ahead and read the waiver for myself and who maybe it's just me. Your lease entails unavoidable risk of possible injury, death, or loss of property. Waive and release all future classes of action accorded in my favors as a result of personal injuries, loss of life, or loss of property. I'm gonna be real upfront with you guys. I was real confident coming in here today, and but now hearing Jade's account, that is extremely concerning to me. And I also don't have anything to base off of being completely alone.
There's a little girl that's standing right there. Right at the
Bro, I don't know if I can watch this in here. I'm actually getting freaked out. This guy's going, this is the house. That's crazy. Right now, he's literally looking up the staircase that I could see from my peripheral right here, saying that he sees a little girl.
Hello? Hello? Look. Hello?
Out of nowhere, I'm sitting here trying to dump my footage onto my computer, and it got so unbelievably cold where I'm sitting. It feels like someone just opened the door in here and there's a freezing cold breeze coming through here. Could just be a draft, but I am going to just turn on a word bank to see if anything comes up that's relevant. Sallie, are you here?
I feel it blowing right through here. Well, a little bit. I'm going to move over here and see if I can feel the same thing then. Yeah, now we're in front of a window and an air conditioner. Right. It's off. Right. All right, I definitely can feel a sense of some air moving there. Yeah.
Sallie,
answer me first.
Okay, what would you like to ask me? I am willing to answer anything. I know I'm in your space. I'm in your home right now, so I'm willing to play by your rules, answer any questions.
Intruder.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not an intruder. I'm actually just a girl that is very into the paranormal, and I enjoy communicating with whatever might be on the other side to try to just understand it better. Apparently, this house is extremely paranormally active. So, do you have anything else you want to?
Which?
Not a bad one. I just want to say that I have some concerns because I have seen a lot of videos of some really crazy scratches. Like bloody scratches. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to have any of those issues tonight because I do not want to get scratched. I don't allow that. Not cool. I'm going to tell you what I just saw. So over by the stairs, at the bottom of the stairs where the front door is, it was like an energy form. I know that sounds insane, but picture like not like a shadow figure, but like a, oh God, how do I explain this? Almost like a blurry, like the size of an adult, but like blurry, see-through. Is there somebody over there by the stairs? That definitely wasn't Sallie. That was too tall. Oh my God, my body feels not good. Did I see someone over here? Oh my God. Sallie, is that you? Is that what you look like? That was literally a little girl. Someone's covering her mouth. Or is she covering her mouth? So that popped up. Clearly people are saying that there's something like evil or demonic here. And then this comes up, which makes me think Sallie, like a little girl, covering her mouth. I wonder if both things are true, like if both things are here, and if...
So, one of the theories behind this whole story is that it's a demon that is haunting the house, that is portraying itself as a little girl to make people trust it more. So that, and I'm not saying that's real, not real, guys. You guys know I'm a skeptic. So, but that is something that I've read about in many other books about this kind of stuff, that demons do that kind of thing. If you believe in demons, to get people to trust them, to be able to get in with people. So they'll do things such as portray as small children, portray themselves as small children or animals or something like that to make children trust them, or, you know what I mean? People to feel less threatened by them, so on and so forth. And then turns out they're actually something much more bad. Yeah, very bad. If you believe, again.
I want to know what app that is. What is that? Dead Time? Deadline?
Deadline, I think it's called. Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
That, and I guess Scully is going to rent the house and throw a rager, so I'm all in.
Go for it. I'll join you. I'll spend the night there. I have no problems with it.
I call the basement.
Mr. Mold, you going to sleep down with a gas mask on?
Yeah, someone's got to scare the shit out of you.
Oh, it ain't going to scare me.
I'll just take the gas mask off and scare you that way.
There you go. On we go. Welcome, Suze Mac. Good to see ya. Anybody else watching from the hallway there, thank you for joining us. Make sure you look behind you before you step forward. On we go.
Sallie is maybe scared of what else is here.
Sacrifice.
I went to get food. I did keep a camera rolling and an audio recorder. I didn't hear anything weird on the audio recorder, so I'm assuming nothing happened. I was going to the bathroom before, and something 100%.
Yes, that as well, because in turn, people have a tendency to trust in spirits that they believe is somebody that they know. It makes them, again, more comfortable. Good to see you, Creddy. So again, and we demons are very, if you, again, This is all what you believe in and how you perceive it. But what my understanding is about it is that demons are very much, how do you put it? Uh, Narcissistic, I guess, manipulative, so on and so forth, basically. So, for lack of better terms, I guess you could put it.
Sounded like it fell upstairs. It was loud. When I went
found
over
the app.
there, I heard like maybe like a scratch
Sorry?
I found the app. I'm downloading it now.
Okay.
on the wall. Didn't see anything out of place. I did put a ball at the top of the stairs. So Sally, there's a ball up there if you want to kick it down the stairs. Ooh, this person has such good handwriting. Our stay was amazing. The most eventful thing to happen during our time was a loud crash coming from the basement at around 12:30 a.m. Apparently, I'm not allowed in the basement because I don't have 1 million followers. But I'm telling you right now, if something crashes in the basement later, I'm going down there. Like, you can't have me staying in a house, a haunted house with a creepy basement, and something happens down there and I can't see it. After 30 minutes, heard footsteps, loud banging, and very weird smells. Felt a very heavy presence. We sat on the couch for a while and felt things on our bodies, like people touching us. Pretty sure we heard things coming from the basement. Again, if I hear things coming from the basement... Whoa, did they write in Chinese? This one's really depressing. Spent an hour here and nothing. Just a sad, lonely house. Just when we thought the roach was the only... Oh no, there's roaches. After questions, we were told war with Venezuela. When was this written? December 3rd, 2025. And it said, because drug boat. So Sally follows politics? Very strange. We'll be thinking about it for some time. The basement door slightly opened and caught a subtle moan on an EVP around 4:30 to 4:45 p.m. First impression of the house is that it has good bones for an old gal. Smells musty, like my great aunt's house. This was yesterday. I'm nervous to read this one because what if it's really bad? Our GoPro fell from the railing. Oh my God, my GoPro's on the railing right now. Came to pay my respects to Annie. Who's Annie? Her surgeon was an amateur. She deserved better. They didn't fix it. Instead, at the bottom, they added, P.S. Oh God, I meant Sally. Sorry, Sally. You deserve better. So it seems like Sally's activity dies down a little bit earlier and then maybe something else shows up later. So with that being said, I'm going to go head up to Sally's room. You're going to come with me, and we are going to sit in that room for a full hour. Whether anything happens or not, I'm going to bring equipment in, and we're going to lock in, and we're going to try to get Sally to come through. What in the world? I already went up there, and I dropped off the equipment, and the REM pod was going berserk, but like in a way that I've never seen it do before. So I'm going to assume maybe it just needs a new battery. Oh. Oh my God. Hello? Sally, is that you? I see you found the bell. The bell is on a really low setting as well, so I'm actually surprised that it went off. Oh, why did I feel like something just pulled my hair? Oh my God, that was weird. Hold on. I'm trying to set my camera here. Did someone just pull my hair? It was like a strand. Like it felt like it got pulled out.
Do not say my name. Like, I do not even want my name, like, spoken in that as. The fact that I even called you and I know you're in that as.
It was at this time that I realized that I somehow had, out of all people's REM pod to have, Jade from Ghost Club Paranormal. Now, I haven't seen her prior to this moment for at least a month or two, and I have used this REM pod several times since, so I am absolutely shocked that I didn't notice it until this very moment. Why do I have your REM pod? Like, since when? And I literally have been using this all day, and I just got into this room, and why is my camera doing that? What's happening, dude? I noticed that, and then as soon as I didn't say it out loud because of like, I won't, you know what I mean? I don't want to say your name here. I don't want to bring you to it, but like, then this started going off. But what? I actually feel like I'm going insane right now because like I packed this. And when I packed this, I put cat balls like in this to like hold them in my bag. And like I would have seen that. And by the way, this is not a ghost hunting tool. I know people have these things that like light up and change colors when there's ghosts, but I brought this to set the vibes. Sallie, I am throwing you the ultimate slumber party because you deserve it. And we're gonna have a great night. I brought you a toy. I didn't know what you liked, but my favorite color is pink. And I thought maybe you would like pink too. So I'm gonna add this to your color. Why did my neck just vibrate? I'm gonna add this to your color. I'm gonna add this to your color. Now this is the part of the episode where I try to debunk what the heck just happened. From my perspective, I feel like I hear a whisper behind my voice while I'm talking. And at the same time, I felt something vibrate on my neck, which is super strange. While trying to debunk this, I thought that maybe I was rubbing against my mic until I realized my mic and camera are both outside of the room in the hallway. Somebody brought a skibbity toilet. I don't know exactly what year Sallie's from, but I would assume that she would be very confused. One, about what is skibbity toilet, because I don't know either. And two, like, why is there a little toilet in here? Oh dang, do you want to have a tea party? Look, we got the whole setup here. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna do without the REM pod right now. The REM pod is malfunctioning. Okay, Sallie, I'm putting on a device for you where you can make pictures or words or phrases or names pop up. Behind the house. Sallie, are you behind the house? Earlier when I was in the backyard, I really truly don't know the history of this house. I'm not going to pretend I do. But when I was back there, I got this overwhelming feeling of someone or multiple people being, it said waiting, being buried here. I'm just going to throw it out there. I have no idea. That's literally just off the top of my head. I haven't felt like super horrible or like any negativity since I've been here. It actually feels like so far quite cozy. I've had a couple moments where I got nervous. Oh my God, wait, back to the backyard. Hold the phone. Is there somebody buried back there? So this was a doctor's house. Did the doctor bury people here? As I was saying, the house doesn't feel bad, but I truly have seen more shadow figures here than I have seen anywhere in my entire life. I see spirits. I downplay it a lot because I think I get worried that people like won't believe me or will judge me, but we're leaving that behind in 2025. I 100% see spirits. I have for almost my whole life. This house, I've seen several over and over and over again. So in the living room, in the corner of my eye, in my peripheral, I saw a very tall, well, I'm short, so maybe not that tall, a tall woman in white. I couldn't make out anything else. I think she had dark hair, but definitely like I just saw white and tall female. In the kitchen area, I keep seeing a tall male, just all black is all I'm seeing. But almost every time I look in the kitchen, I see him standing by like next to the back door. So I don't know what that is. I feel like someone is here now. If I'm right, if there is someone or something here now, could you give me a sign? Do not disturb. Do not disturb. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna sit here quietly. Oh no. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let's try the Hack Shack Spirit Box. Get out.
What did it say, Dylan? Or do?
So it just dinged and it said,
Just did it again. I heard it.
yeah, this one says under the bridge. I'm nowhere near a bridge.
Downtown. That's where I did some drugs. Maybe, I don't know. Is it said in a Chili Pepper song?
I have no connection to a bridge.
Oh, maybe it's hearing this and picking it up.
Well, it wasn't really picking anything up. These are noise canceling headphones.
What
So
does the app look like? Like on your phone, what does it show when it pulls these things up? Anything?
It's just like hers.
Okay, got you.
It said it said threshold. It said keep talking, and then it said time to go.
Huh. Okay. Keep it running while we're watching this. I'm curious. Interesting.
I think it's making me pay to run more. Yeah.
Put it by. Will your microphone pick it up? Or your speakers? Can it hear your speakers?
Well, I had it kind of close. I had it kind of sitting on the mouse pad, so it would have picked it up if my mic wasn't muted.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not letting me run it anymore because I guess you got to pay for it.
Of course.
And yeah, I'm not.
I wouldn't be paying for it either.
No, it's just gonna go. It's just one of those that just beeps at random times.
Got you.
Yeah, because it told me to keep talking, and I never said a word.
Maybe it was hearing her then.
I doubt it.
Lucy said it's your mom telling you you're not old enough. It's time for bed. Good one, Lucy. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. See, I don't believe in these phone device apps. None of that stuff. I'd never used any of that stuff.
No, I'm just using it for funsies.
Yeah, of course. But a lot of this stuff is newer, and I don't.
No.
No, not my thing. I just want to see what she encounters, if anything. And I went with a lower, not to sound ignorant, but a lower rated channel that I would imagine is not going to put on some kind of a show that may be trying to do it the real way. You know, somebody else out there that, then again, could be trying to do it to get views. So I guess you could look at it that way. But I thought going with a lower rated channel that a lot of people don't know about might help instead of going with one of these bigger. You know what I'm saying? So just saying. On the go.
Couch? I had a weird thought when I was in the backyard that there might be like somebody or multiple people buried on the property. Can you tell me if that is just a thought I was having or if that's true?
Anything. Fight through all these. That you guys
Success.
Sallie?
Stuff. To the state.
Where should I go next? Who just rang the bell? Is that you, Sallie?
Now, you know.
Here? Who's here?
There's a lot of people about and strapped.
Sally, can you tell me how old you are?
Again? Sometimes when you...
Did it say ton of gadgets? Did I hear that right? Yeah, there's a lot of things in here.
I love you. I'm in high school.
High school. Dude, what the? Hold on. I swear on everything I love. In the other room, I saw a guy in a striped shirt. It was like so strange, like more modern. Like a blue, like a navy blue striped shirt. Polo. Collared. Hello? That was weird. Maybe it was the doctor. Are you the doctor? Human vessel.
Human vessel.
Well, I'll tell you this. I am not a vessel for you. You are allowed to... David. Hi, David.
David.
You are allowed to communicate with me, use the devices, knock a doll over. I don't care. Knock one of these over. That's totally fine. But you can't touch me, okay? Oh. Oh my God, this looks like what I saw. The lady, the white lady dress. This house is so strange. Like, you'll just hear what sounds like somebody, like, not super loud all the time, but like someone just like moving things around and like moving about in another room that's like right there, and there's nobody here. So what am I hearing? I don't know.
Don't be afraid.
Oh, that's so nice. Do I trust it? I smell fire smoke. Hold on. Okay. As I said that, earlier, when I brought this stuff up here, I smelt smoke too, but I smelt cigarette smoke. And it came on really fast and really strong. I haven't smelt it again. I was curious if I would smell it when I was in here because I was thinking maybe it's on a toy or something. But that time definitely was like fire smoke and that popping up.
One problem I have with this is she has too many lights on. When we did these, we didn't have any lights on other than our device lights. So that just bugs me a little bit.
I say give her an Emmy.
Probably because of her cameras and stuff, but yeah.
I mean, you notice every single thing that happens, it just so happens to be off camera conveniently.
It always is.
Come on now.
Okay. Did I just hear the music box going off? Oh. Okay, that's weird. The smoke smells like in here now. It's like traveling through the house. And now it's gone. I'm gonna attempt to get a VIP. This is the VIP section.
Welcome, Big Ahmed.
Kate.
Hi, Kate. Was there a light on that just went off?
No.
I swear there was a light on and it went off, but maybe I'm tripping. Oh, was it this light? Did this shut off? Yeah, I think this was on. I'm gonna check the footage because I have a bad memory, but I'm pretty sure this was on and that just shut off. What did it say?
No.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I'm just kidding. It didn't. That was a music box. It played one note.
No, there hasn't been any
Something
temperature changes
sinister.
at all. The ball hasn't moved either.
Oh my god, the music box is going off right now. But I feel like every time I go back in there, it doesn't do it. I guarantee as I run this stuff downstairs, it's gonna go off. It's going off again. Okay, I'm gonna run this downstairs. Since I can't go into the basement, I am going to try something here. I am going to put a camera inside the door of the basement so you guys can see in there. I'm going to put my back up against the wall of the basement door, and I'm going to do an Estes method. I am alone, so I don't have anyone to ask me questions necessarily. I was thinking about maybe I've done this before where I just put on a word bank and I'm just going to be saying whatever I'm hearing through the headphones that will be hooked up to the spirit box.
No safety.
So I will be just saying out loud anything I hear through this, anything I feel around my body, anything I feel in the room, if I feel a cold breeze, if something taps me. Let's see what happens. Oh, look, it's a little girl. Oh my God, that was so clear. I didn't even start yet. And it said, "We are not well." Okay. Oh my God, this is scary. Oh my God. Male one seen. One of them is, "Hello," male voice. "Do you believe?" That was so clear. These are really clear today. "Answer now." "I see ya." "Under the fence?" "The post?"
Predator.
7 days. I smell alcohol in the air right now. My book. Oh my God. No, hold on. Break. That was the creepiest, clearest laugh I've ever heard in an Estes method. That was clear. It said, "Help, turn this off." Cancel it. Can we go down there? Play. Shot a light. On the way home. I know that. Super clear. December 20th. Whoa, why does it feel like it's shaking in here? Why is my chair shaking?
Yes.
Whoa, that was a long one. My frustration is shattering.
There you go. You
Yes,
notice
sir.
you notice how every time it does that thing, she magically goes off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's completely random.
I'm just trying to see if like she's in the house. I'm wanting to see myself. I'm not even really paying that much attention to her personally. I'm watching things around her when she's doing stuff to see if there's anything that you can see via that way. So I don't believe in 90% of these contraptions that she uses, the ghost box or whatever the hell it's called, or the other thing. The light balls I'm cool with because if anything touches them, they do light up. If the REM pod, I'm okay with because again, it has a reactionary action to it. Okay, you have to react to it for it to do. You can't just it can't just do something. Something has to touch it or move it or push it or something for it to react. These other things, I've never been a fan of, other than an EVP recorder, which I have, and a Polaroid camera, which I have, an old school VHS tape recorder, which I have, a camcorder. Those things are the stuff we use. Um, this stuff I don't understand it, nor do I get into it. I don't trust it because nobody knows what the hell is going on with this stuff for real. So that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean you guys have to believe that too. Um, just saying. She's doing a ghost hunt inside one of those supposedly one of the most haunted houses in America, Big Amish, the Sallie House. So, and thus far, I if the cat balls would have lit up, or the ball would have fell down the stairs, ooh, we could talk about that. But thus far, I've seen nothing. So,
She's saving the ball for towards the end of the
and
video.
if it does fall, then I'm going to question it. Just saying.
Was that the cord? What just touched me? It's in the other room. What said?
Now that was kind of interesting.
I think if you look
All right,
close,
let
you
me
can
look
kind
at
of
that again.
you
Hold
kind
on.
of
I want
see.
to make sure her hand didn't move. Hold on.
I think her thumb moved.
That's what I'm watching for.
Was that the cord?
Nope. Nothing moved on her hand. Damn.
What just touched me?
That was interesting. What? Both her hands. Look. Either one of her hands moved.
What just touched me?
Hold on.
Yes.
Whoa, that was a long one. My frustration is shattering. Was that the cord?
Can't explain that one. Neither one
What
of her
just
hands
touched me?
moved, so that was interesting for sure.
It's in the
Isn't
other
that,
room.
the jacket where it's
It's
kind
in.
of written? Is it like those
Stop.
I think it's one of those uh the string goes through them, and so they're kind of flaky. I know I'm describing it terribly, but
The tablecloth is moving because there's an air vent, like a heater vent, that's literally like directly across from it, probably blowing heat at it.
yeah, with the way that the letters are written, that cord could have easily just been sitting on the edge, and it like a breath
It
will.
could have popped off or something, sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely the only thing I've seen so far that's something I would question for sure. If this started to light up or of course that rang, we got some questions for sure. No doubt. But beyond that, thus far, nothing yet. Yeah, the heating vent is what's making the tablecloth move. It took me a minute when I first saw it. I was like, "The hell?" And I looked over and I saw that. So, excuse me.
So much electricity. Help. Your more knocks. Ooh. Is that a bug? Like normally you can hear it, but it's like bits and pieces and really hard to make out. Like this was full on, so clear. I guess I'm sleeping down here. Why is this my back? Is it? I can't see because it's. I don't recall scratching myself. Unless like unconsciously, like I did it and didn't realize. But like it just felt like burning suddenly. That's why I looked. Now, I like being 100% transparent with you guys. I watched all of the footage leading up to this point to see if I maybe accidentally scratched myself. At no point do I see myself do that, but there is a couple moments when I do walk away from the camera. So can I say with a 100% certainty that this is something paranormal? I cannot, but based on what I know now, with the amount of scratches that have taken place in this home, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, that'll do it. So, does anybody have a story they want to pop up here and tell us about? Discuss about any kind of an interaction or anything that has happened to them? There's a link pinned to the top of the chat if you want to. And if you don't, it's understood. Given that option for tonight. That's the Sallie House, by the way, for those that are kind of popping in late. um, there's a true story behind it. There's another story with the Pickmans behind it. You can look into it. Just look up the Sallie House out of Kansas and the Pickman family that lived in it. They had the worst experiences. If you're interested and more on it. And if not, I fully understand. Maybe nobody has any ghost stories, Miss Leah. Dylan don't have none. He's not old enough yet. If you ask Lucy. Uh-oh. When you do join this way, I do ask you to show your face for like 3 seconds so I can make sure you're going to show your face and not your waist. And then you can turn your camera back off. You don't have to leave it on to tell your story. If you can do that. It says your devices are not connected anyway, Miss Judy. I can't bring you up anyhow without that. You have to connect your mic and or your camera if you want to be able to join us. Welcome, Aquarian. Good to see you.
Where'd Diggo run off to?
I'm right here.
Oh.
Just waiting to see if anybody wants to come up to tell any stories. Can you turn your camera on for just like 3 seconds, Judy? And then you can turn it back off. Let me see. I guess not. Let me try something here. Can you hear me?
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, great. I can't hear you guys. Let me go out and try to come back in.
Okay. Right. Oh, really? Bring it, Lucy.
I ain't scared.
Oh, it's not funny. Let's see here. If you have any kind of paranormal ghost stories, interactions, anything like that you have that you want to tell a story about, come on up and let's hear it.
The closest thing I got is my mom said she heard church music coming from the basement of our old house.
Was there any reason why that would happen?
Not a clue.
Go
She
with
said she
that.
was in, I guess, like, I was like 3 or 4, and I guess I was out in the living room or something like that. And my mom was in the kitchen, and she just heard church music going on.
That's wild. That is wild for sure. Suze Mac said I woke up from sleep one night a few weeks ago. I thought I heard a noise, so I just stayed still with the eyes closed and I listened. At one point it felt like someone was leaning over my head. Oh, hell no. All right, Miss Judy, let's try this again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. How are you guys?
Good. Good. So do you have a story to tell us? Paranormal, ghost
Well,
story, whatever it would be?
yeah, paranormal. Normal. I first of all want to say that I was raised a Christian in the Baptist faith and everything, so I am very spiritual. I'm not. I'm sure you've got people in the audience that are as well, and will know what I'm
Sure.
talking about.
Absolutely.
When my kid's dad passed away, first of all, hindsight is always 2020. So first of all, when he was passing away, I he nicknamed our kids Boo and Bud for our daughter and then our son. Well,
Gotcha.
his dad was named his dad's nickname, who had died when he was just a young child. He had always called him Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like I said, not knowing that he was actually bleeding out and they weren't doing anything to kind of stop it.
Cirrhosis?
He kept asking, yeah. Well, no, it was he had stage renal failure.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so, yeah,
Very
so he
sorry.
had a bunch of other things that happened. Calciphylaxis, it's kind of like a cancer. And,
Yeah.
when once that comes along, they can't do anything. So anyway, when he was passing away, he kept asking how's Boo and how's Buddy. He kept asking, and he's never, in the 2 years our son was just little, he's never called him Buddy. It's always been Bud.
Hmm.
And once he passed away, I knew at that moment that he could see at least his father, I'm assuming his mother and his father, waiting for him to cross over.
Okay.
It was just that close, that close of a spiritual
Right.
connection for me, that it hit me like that. So, people talk about paranormal things happening. I've had loved ones, zap my microwave in the middle of the night.
Right.
Different times it would go off, and it would go to either, how it'll beep when it's
Yeah.
malfunctioning or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, well, it would do that. It's done that. It's malfunctioned. It would go from 0 to 4 or 0 to 9. I'm talking about in the middle of the night where I'd have to get up and unplug it. So, but
That's wild.
right after but yeah, but this is really wild. He was a big sports nut. And I
Uh-huh.
mean, talking about he'd be up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching lawnmower races.
Gotcha.
And and so when we left, the power was off for some reason. I had left to go get them clothes for the funeral and everything. So when we came back, of course, it was dark at night. And so
Hmm.
the power was on. And we walked in, and I asked Whitney, I said, "Did you turn the TV on?" And she said, "No, Mom. No." And for those of you that have direct TV, when you turn that off or it resets, do you know the page that it goes back to? Or when it resets, do you know the what you're viewing every time?
Yes, I know what you mean.
It goes back to the guide every time, in other
Right.
words, once you reboot it, or it comes back on. So this would have happened. Well, when we walked back in, that TV was not only turned on, but it was on the NFL network. There had been nobody in our house at all.
That's wild.
Well,
That that
that
is
to me, that was just his way of letting me know I'm okay.
yeah, that's
So,
wild.
so
Wow.
as far as paranormal, that's about as paranormal personally as I can get for you.
So
But
so when you saw that, Judy, what kind of a feeling came over you when you saw that?
I knew who it was. I knew that he was there trying to connect with us spiritually.
Right.
To just let me know that he was okay, because I was actually planning to go see him the next day. And when I
Mhm.
woke up that morning, I had left my cell phone in my car to charge, of course, because the power was still off.
Right.
And there was a deputy sheriff at the door telling me to call the hospital. So when he passed away, we didn't exactly, you know, end things knowing that, we wouldn't speak
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So, but
That
I've
that's
just, that's about as paranormal for me as I can get.
that's pretty paranormal, and I hopefully you got some kind of a closure out of that too, if it helped you in that sense. That's my
It
mother.
does, and I have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my mother went through a scenario like that with my grandfather. I had explained a while back, but go ahead.
Yeah, that I had lost my dad when I was 14, and I think he was the one that kept messing with the microwave in the middle of the night.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So everything,
And we
at least
would.
everything was good.
Oh yeah, yeah, everything was good. No, I've not ever had anything really scare me.
Right.
I'm not really scared. I guess I feel too protected, because I know I'm not going out without, unless the good Lord's ready for me to go. So
Sure.
not many things scare me. what normally, I guess, normally would others. But when I walked in and saw that, because I knew it should have been on
The guide, yeah.
on the guide when it came on. So
Yeah, if it's
if
shut
that
off and
doesn't,
I had it years ago, and if that's what it does, if it turns off or that it gets completely set off and reset, it goes right back to the guide. But for it to be sitting on that channel, which was very conveniently the channel he watched all the time, is quite interesting, I think. Very interesting.
we had we had the answer machine that had where it had little cassettes in it that used
Yeah.
to record on. It wasn't digital. And my daughter was, like I said, she was 7, so I let her listen to it, and
Yeah.
I could hear that. It was like nobody called, but it was a recording,
Mhm.
and I could hear somebody saying, "That's why I love you.
Oh, wow.
That's why I love you." That's just what the recording kept playing. So there's been, several things like that, but nothing to really scare me.
Yeah, but it gives you a lot of people get a sense of contentment from that and having those things happen to them, truly. I've heard that a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure that others have experienced that as well, and there may be some things that they've experienced, and they just haven't figured out yet exactly what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
That happens a lot too.
Sylvia Brown, for all the kooky stuff that she did, there was some things that she was honest about, that she was accurate about, at least, and
Right.
that was their ability to mess with the electronics.
Definitely.
And so he and I would watch that every Wednesday. He knew that I watched that show on Montel Williams every Wednesday. I would catch her segment.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think, again, that's how he knew that I would know it was specifically him trying to communicate.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. So I'm first and foremost, I'm so sorry for your loss, and of course our condolences. With I don't know how long it's been, but any amount of time is
it's
never enough.
been 2009. It's been 2009. So kids are grown now. I'm just thankful that I got them raised. I'm disabled on top of that. So my health has
Right.
declined as well over the years. Yeah. So I'm just right now thankful that I got them both to 18.
Absolutely.
One's 19 and the other one's 24 now. So, but yeah, so
Okay.
it's been an experience, though. Let me just say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
But,
sure. I appreciate you sharing
but as
with us,
far,
Judy.
well, you're welcome. I'm glad I got to call in.
Absolutely. Were you going to say something else there as guys you started to?
No, I was just gonna say I'll go ahead and jump down and let somebody else come on. And
Okay.
thank y'all for listening. I just thought you might find that interesting, since
I
the
do very
topic
much
of the
so.
night
Yeah.
was.
Absolutely. I'm very grateful to have you, and anytime we do this, please feel welcome to join us, please.
I certainly will if I'm able, and if I've got anything to share on topics. So I listen
Absolutely.
in all the time to your Idaho 4 stuff. To
Okay.
all of you whenever you come up on panel and everything. So
Well,
I
thank
listen
you. Yeah,
almost daily, or every time you have something. So I just may not be in the chat that much.
that's okay. We appreciate you very much, Judy. Thank you very much. And
All right, y'all have
again,
a
thanks
good
for
night.
joining us. You too, dear, and have a
Sure.
great one. Thank you for being here once again.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. All right. Can you hear me, Davey?
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, Diego.
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing quite well. How you guys doing?
Good. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Would anyone listen if you did?
Never. They never do.
Yeah. It's bad when they do. Just saying, did anyone else have shape-shifting human-eating lizard pedos for your 2026 conspiracy bingo? Because I didn't, and could have made a buck, but
No. I can say I did not have to have that happen to me.
No
missed that
guilty
on call
pleasure
sheet,
recorded.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what do we got going on with you tonight, sir?
A whole lot of nothing. I was gonna say I wrote down a couple because I've had a few.
Okay.
I've had a long, crazy life, but just in this kind of context,
Right.
what jumped out to me first was the shadow person thing, and that's a short one. This happened in the morning, and like I've did like certain things that a lot of people don't, like mediumship and stuff like that, many years, decades before. So, but I'd never actually seen like things moving. Well, I'm sitting there and I'm jamming out and I'm writing some poetry and working on stuff, and the dog. My mom has two dogs, and one of them was barking really loud, and the other one had her hairs all up and down her spine. I always know that's something,
Yeah,
When my hair
of
is up
course.
my spine, I'm like, shit, something's going on.
Right.
And I looked up, and I swear to God, this freaked me out more than anything I've seen, and I don't know why, because I didn't feel like evil, but when I looked up, I saw what looked like a body, like a blacker than black body, and a head that looked like it noticed me and then dipped back a little bit and then like moved quickly, like flipped back. Like it was looking at me like from like I'm sitting in the middle of the living room and there's a Florida room kind of like off to my peripheral. And that's when I looked up and I look over and I saw what should have been like a face, but it was just all black. I mean like black.
Yeah.
And the light in the room was on. And I saw it dip back a little bit, like when something you're looking behind a tree or something, and then it scooted, and I was person. I was 100% convinced it was a person, and I just didn't see from the shadow, and so I was only 5 feet from the room, like I was right there. Like I look over, and there's two exits, but one of them's blocked, and the door wasn't open, the window wasn't open, nothing was open. There's also a bell and a chime on the one door that opens. Didn't hear anything. I searched that entire room. It's not a huge room either. There's a hot tub and like a little table. I looked everywhere. I opened up the hot tub. I got in the hot tub. I looked inside like the parts of like the hot tub where like get inside of it. Nothing.
Yeah.
No one. Freaked me so much the fuck out. And for the rest of that night, both of those dogs would not leave that little area. And like I said, I've been talking to things ever since I became okay with that idea. And that one blew me away. Like I honestly thought that was bullshit, and I thought that a lot of people who said that were just like maybe hallucinating or seeing something else.
Yeah.
But the feeling, like, and again, like, I didn't feel evil, but it just felt wrong, like
uncomfortable. Yeah. And
insanely uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right. For people that don't understand, like a shadow person or shadow people, it's also known as a shadow figure or what can be called a black mass in that situation. It's very popular in those types of circles within that grouping of paranormal activity. Um, it resembling most of them resemble like or animate what like a human shape would look like. And sometimes they're interpreted as a presence or a spirit of something. And it says that the history and folklore of shadow people goes way, way, way back, folks.
Yeah.
Numbers of religions and legends and belief systems describe supernatural entities such as shades of the underworld and various shadowy humanoids that have long been a staple of folklore and ghost stories, such as the Islamic jinn. We all know what the jinn is, kind of like
Yeah.
a genie, evil genie type thing or whatever. The Choctaw Nalusafalaya as well. There used to be a show on long time back for those of you that might remember it. It was Coast to Coast with Art Bell.
Oh yeah, Art Bell. Oh man, classic. The
Right.
classic.
So he did an interview one time. I remember the story on this. A guy pretending to be a Native American elder went by the name Thunderstrikes and also Harley Swift Deer Reagan. During the show that he did with this interview with this guy, I remember this. It's funny that this pulled up when I pulled this up. Listeners that were listening were encouraged to submit drawings of shadow people, blah, 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 that they had seen, and large numbers of these drawings were immediately shared publicly on the show's website. And then in October that year, somebody by the name of Heidi Hollis published a book on the topic of shadow people, and then she became like a regular guest on that show, and some of the how can I put it? Like she had described the shadow people as dark silhouettes with human shapes, profiles, blah blah blah, that flicker in and out of like your peripheral vision, like you were saying, and
Yeah.
claim that people have reported the figures attempting to jump on their chest and choke them. She said that she believed in her book that the figures could be negative aliens that can be repelled by various means, including invoking in the name of Jesus if you have religion in your life.
Dude, that's
But
actually one
there's
of the other things. Yeah.
I saw I'll tell you this story real fast to go along with what you're saying. When we were in the Moundsville Reformatory, we were walking into the it was the medical unit. And in the corner, the very far right corner of the medical unit, which was on the third level of the building, and it was in the middle of the floor. The floor was separated by one end and then the other end, and then there's a big wide open room that used to have hospital beds and nurse stations and stuff like that in it, and that's where they would keep all the sick people. And we were walking up to it. My wife got physically sick walking up to that room.
Mm-hmm.
Walking into the room, she almost vomited. We had to walk back out, then stand out in the hallway for a little while, and as we went back in, she would get sick every time we'd go to walk in there. Like literally wanting to throw up. Like you could see her change color and everything. I was like, that's wild.
Clairsentient, gotta be. Yeah.
And it didn't affect me at all. I was like, whatever. But so at one point I said, we have to get across to the other side of the hallway to continue what we're doing. We have to get through here. You can't go down and get to it another way. So I said, all right, hold your breath, whatever. And we just ran across, and it was only about 50 yards from one end to the other. We got through. She was she felt like shit all the way through it. As we
Mm.
were running through, I looked to my right. In that far corner, I saw what looked like a dark shadow in the corner. The rest of the room was completely lit up, but that corner looked like a big black mass, and I always question that. There was
Mm.
no shape to it. It was just a glob of whatever, and I thought maybe it was my eyes, the lighting, something. Because I'm skeptical. I don't believe in stuff unless I see something that proves it.
Dude,
So,
that's the way to be, though. That's the healthiest way to be, honestly.
yeah,
I'm still a skeptic too, even though I've seen shit. Yeah. Is she an empath, clairsentient? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds
yeah,
like,
she is.
yeah,
Yeah, she gets
yeah, dude. Dude,
20 years. It's been an interesting 20 years. I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure. Hey,
And she
bless
can,
all of y'all that love and to keep up with us crazies.
yeah, and she denies most of it. She doesn't like go after it. She doesn't chase it. She doesn't try to make it happen. She kind of is bothered by
Sage,
it. Says, yeah,
sage.
but it
Yeah,
happens to her all the time. Yes,
yeah.
with in Mrs. Hangman, it was in Moundsville Reformatory in West Virginia. Yes.
Huh. You know, that's so. So when you were saying that, that was another thing that popped up in my head too. It reminds me of my ex girlfriend at the time, and she hated this stuff. Like she hated when I talked about aliens. She hated when I talked about ghosts, even though she was like super sensitive. It's because it literally scared the shit out of her. And she had some really weird experiences growing up. And anyway, one night I'm Ubering and she calls me up and she's freaking the fuck out. It's like I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning. It always happens at that time. But she's like,
Right.
Dave, you gotta come back. You gotta come back right now. Like you won't believe what just happened. But you gotta come back right now. Something's here. You know. And so I rush back thinking like there's people. I'm like kick down the door. What's up, motherfucker? And no, there's nothing there. She's like, no, it was the hag lady. I'm like, the hag lady? So I've never experienced that part of
Okay.
sleep paralysis, but in sleep paralysis they talk about the hat man and a hag lady. Um, but they're supposed to be shadow beings, and that immediately made me think about that. And she was convinced that this hag lady would sit on her chest and was crushing her to death. And like she said, she was so tired and she was trying to sleep because we had been up for a couple days and stuff. And she was flipping out because every time she closed her eyes, she'd feel this pressure weight. And she said she heard this old lady cackling, saying, "I'm going to get you," in like a
Where
crazy rich
where
bitch
where were
voice.
you guys located when this happened? What
St.
state?
Petersburg, Florida.
Okay. I used to watch a show on YouTube called the Angry Grandpa Show, and
Okay.
this was about for those of you that don't know it, it's just an old guy that used to scream and yell and make everybody laugh. And
I'd watch it.
he was terrified of this hag lady thing, is what reminded me of that. and believed fully in it, like that it was a real thing, that it could actually hurt him, all this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
something that he grew up with, I guess. So I was just curious because they were in the Carolinas, North or South Carolina, I can't remember, but it's interesting that you brought that. I haven't heard that talked about since then, so that's interesting.
Yeah, no, that isn't synchronicities. Yeah, and she also is the same. She twice when driving late at night, she stopped me to say, "Oh my God, you're going to kill us." Two times. This doesn't pair well for my Uber driving record, but whatever. And like I'm
Right.
I'm driving, like I think we're coming into Tampa, and it's a crazy intersection. And like as I'm getting off the interstate, she wakes up out of dead sleep, grabs my arm, you know, and is like, "Oh my God, stop!" And of course, like I was so freaked out, I stopped instantly, and a motorcycle instantly coming from the right side cut me off, while another car, like a big old SUV from the left lane, was coming to cut him off. And I was like, "Holy shit, you just saved our lives!" She's like, "Yeah, you should fucking listen to me more often." So the next time, this was,
Premonition.
dude, for real. And so a couple of years later, this was driving down from Jacksonville to Gainesville, and there's this weird part of country highway that has like a big bridge over land, and I always wonder why, because like you have to go. There's nothing. It doesn't go over anything. There's no railroad tracks. There's no water. But anyway,
Right.
as I'm driving, she again asleep wakes up and goes, "Oh my God, if you don't turn, you're going to kill us all." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "I don't know, but if you don't turn, you're going to kill us all. It's going to be a fucking truck barreling down on us." I'm like, "Okay, babe, thank you. Oh, thank you. You can go to bed now again." And she goes
Right.
back to sleep 2 or 3 minutes later. And I had forgotten about it. And I was like, "Oh, she's just being Natalie again." Um, and I missed the turn to the left and actually was going up an on ramp to that highway that I just didn't know. And like as I'm going like turning, it's hitting my brain. Like if she hadn't said, I wouldn't have moved, but hitting my brain, and I just swerve over to the left. Instantly, this giant semi comes barreling over. Yeah, that one.
That would probably make me park the car and walk from there.
Oh, I stopped. And yeah, like I'm not gonna say I shit myself because I don't think I did. I think I was too scared to even shit myself. I was
You're
just
right.
like, from now on, you hear anything, you let me know. I'll put it down for later. Yeah.
The premonition is a real thing. When I was doing a lot of the online like research and stuff for the paranormal investigation classes and all that crap, they give you a lot of stuff to read about. And premonition, they say, is also possibly well, one, everybody knows what premonition is you see things before they happen, possibly so on and so forth, which is good and bad in some ways. It
Terrifying.
always
Yeah.
reminded me of oh my God, what are those movies called?
Final Destination.
The Final Destination movies. Thank you. Always reminded me. I can't drive on the highway.
Yeah.
I see a log truck come by me, I park the car automatically, and I just wait
Yep.
till it goes by now after watching them damn movies, truly. But
Like it or not, that movie changed things 100% for me too. It always flashes in my head.
yeah. Yeah. So when you get premonitions, folks, whether you call it deja vu, premonitions, that's supposedly a spiritual thing from the way it reads that is within you. It's something within you. It's not truly a paranormal thing. It's more of they classify it as a gift, I guess you could call it.
Hmm.
And a lot of people have that without even realizing it. And all it means is that they're more
Definitely.
in touch with like the environment. Because again, I'm a skeptic. I look for all the logical reasons and read all the logical things
Yeah.
on things. And it means you're
Love
in
that.
touch with your environment and that it's not really that big of a deal. It's more of that you just feel things within the environment around you that could or will happen possibly. And you know that
Mhm.
you're in touch with that, and that's how it works that way, which I think is pretty awesome. So
I totally agree. I don't want to hog up time because I literally could talk all day on this stuff. And plan to make a couple videos on this too. But I
Sure.
do have one other story. I mean, I have a bunch,
course.
but I have one other story that really freaked me crazy out, and it's also kind of funny if you want to hear it.
Go for it.
So same girlfriend, and this is this was probably like 7 years ago or so now. And it was during the Super Bowl. And the night before, I had a really crazy dream. And I've done lucid dreaming. Like, I don't like go out for it. It happens. It's a whole thing. But the weird part is like when I know I'm lucid dreaming, the way that I wake up is I punch on my cell phone 8008 or eight, yeah, boobs, and then it wakes me up. I'm a vegetarian boobs, but anyway, the point is, as the night before, I have this crazy dream, and in the dream, I'm with my brother and his girlfriend, and we're in a bus, and we're going to like a museum. It's like a science tech kind of museum, and it's this big giant tower, and we park in this like terminal, and we go into the elevators. But when I get into the elevators, my brother and his girlfriend are gone. And I get in the elevator and I go way up high. And when I get off, I notice that there's just, it's like a circular tower of glass, and all I could see was like clouds. Well, I felt like I was super way up high, but I also didn't feel like I was here.
Yeah.
And I'm wandering around, like wondering what the fuck's going on. And it's a station. There's like people walking here and there, going all around. So I'm like, am I in an airport or some shit? And I look up and I hear my grandfather, who had passed about 3 years before that. He goes, David, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, ho, what the fuck are you? Where am I? He's like, oh, don't worry, but everything. Hey, I'm waiting for Roro right now. Like my grandmother. He's like, I'm waiting for her right now, but you're not supposed to be here. Don't worry, everything. You were right. And I was like, what? And I went to go like hug him, and I woke up, and it shook me. Like I definitely didn't feel like I'd woken up from a dream. I felt like I got teleported somewhere.
Like you were there,
and
actually there.
100%, and goosebumps, the whole, hairs up the spine and everything. And like my same girlfriend, like I'm freaking out. So I'm like, what the fuck was all that? And I'm trying to make sense of it and trying to process it. And she's like, oh great, Davies woke up. Not so today. Even better. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, there's this dream, and I saw my grandfather, and he said something about Rowan. She's like, slow down. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, I don't know, but it seemed like important. But I don't. And she's like, okay, you're too much sometimes. And so throughout the whole day.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll tell you what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Like throughout the day, I keep like recalling parts of it, and little bits come back throughout the day. And I get to, I was doing Shipt and Instacart, and so we're going out, and she was with me on that trip, and we're going out for a big order, and she's in the store, and it clicked, it fucking like, and I'm like, oh my god, I know what was I just in another fucking dimension actually talking to like. And so I went over out to the car, and I wrote it out this poem called Tower of Glass. And I'm trying to tell her what I think, happened. And I'm like freaking out because I'm like, is heaven real? Are other dimensions like legit, like dead, but he's not dead? Like what the fuck was that? And I write this poem out, and it was pretty much what it said. I remember what grandfather had said to me about, you were right. We had this conversation in the years, because I was a caregiver to both of them when they passed. And we had this conversation because he was very staunchly atheist, and I got him to be at least agnostic, just to be like, even you can't know. So you can't know that it's not.
You
So
can't
why
know
don't
that
in
it's
the
not,
base
right.
of like think about the best and maybe hope for, be creative with it. Like fuck it.
Yeah.
Bet on something more than a blank slate. And he was like, okay, we'll see. And like, that's when I clicked. I'm like, oh my God, he was talking about that. And so my girlfriend's like, okay, get to the point. Cause I'm trying to talk about, like, finally I flip out and I'm like, God damn it, heaven's real. And I just talked to my dead grandfather. Are you happy now? And she's like, well, that was a lovely way to say it should be beautiful. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. See? And what's funny is I've heard a lot of stories. I've literally had people come to me and tell me stories about stuff like that. That sounds to me like it's like the third eye they say that we all have. when I was on Crimes After Dark's channel, we talked a little bit about this. That there's people that believe in heaven and hell. You die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. There's people that believe that you go to a higher power, maybe not per se God or the devil. Okay, that there's people that believe in just blatant aliens, that we come from aliens per se, and there's people that don't believe in any of that at all. Now, there's a lot of stuff again that I've read about that it relates to when I was talking about the Devil's Advocate show I was on. It brought that up again to something that I read about, and I'm not saying I have a this is what I believe. I just think it's a very interesting theory. The the basis behind it is very interesting to me. That we, rather than going to heaven or hell, as a lot of people believe in the base for the most part, that we move on to a higher level of consciousness when we pass away. That you're not per se dying, but you're moving through different levels of consciousness as we move on. And that it could be that in one aspect it read that like that's what aliens are. People believe that aliens are just a higher level of who we start off to be here. You know,
I've heard that.
maybe we started off as apes or fish or amoebas or whatever the hell it was, and then we just
Or
keep
dirt, even
moving
maybe.
forward. Yeah, and that the higher levels of consciousness is just at one point we just become a beam of light that's just pure energy and knowledge that just keeps moving through whatever until you become something different. And it's an interesting theory. There's a book on it by oh my god, I can't think of the man's name. It's the book is literally that thick, and I read the whole book in like 4 hours, and I was just sitting there going,
Oh, nice. Nerd.
"Wow, that was
Good.
wild." Just to think about it, because the thought of it makes a lot of sense. Because the different things that we see, the way he explained it is different things we see around us within the world, things
Yeah.
that happen that don't make any sense, that you can't put a name tag on and say, "Hey, this is what happened, and this is exactly what it was." That it
Yeah.
could just be because everything is created from energy. We all know that. Okay,
Yeah.
everything around us is some form of energy. Whether it's this lighter, me, the bracelet
The
on my
air.
arm,
Yeah.
yeah, every bit of it is based off of some type of an energy. So different levels of that and consciousness levels being based on higher forms of energy is what it's all based off of. It's very interesting. So the third eye thing is about seeing further ahead from where we're
Hmm.
at, the way they based it, and being able to see what could be what you become. So that dream is
Yeah.
what that reminds me of. And a lot of people have lucid dreams. Some of the lucid dreams I've had, I wish I would have never had. They're crazy.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
so lucid that you feel like I just did that.
Bro, have you ever been?
I know I just did that.
Yeah. Have you ever been in one that's it's a like a recurring game kind of thing? I get
I've
stuck in
had
those.
I have had many, many recurring dreams from when I was a small child. The same dream that I'll have years. I'm 52 years
Yeah,
old
that's
this year,
crazy. Yeah.
truly, and it's the same type of dream. It just a little bit more of it happens every time I'm in it. I've had
Oh,
dreams of, and I have panic attacks in my dreams. Believe that or not,
yeah.
I
Oh,
have
I've,
a high, I have a bad anxiety level, and I'll wake up having a panic attack in the middle of this dream, or I'll be feeling like I can't breathe,
mm-hmm.
and I wake up and I'm in the midst of the middle of a panic attack. And in the dream, I remember because it's so soon after I come out of it that I was being held captive. This one happens to me all the time, but
Mm.
like I'm in some kind of like a hood somewhere, and I'm being held captive by these gangbanger type people, and they have guns on me, and they're like they want something from me, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
because I
That's
don't
scary
know
stuff.
what it is, they're like, "We're gonna kill you," and then I wake up, and I'm in the middle of that panic attack, and it's like, "Holy fuck, what just happened to me?" You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
go through that. I have that dream like every couple months. It's crazy shit, and I've been having
Damn.
that type of dream since I was a little kid, just different variations of it. So it means
Yeah.
something.
I think
Now,
so.
I do remember seeing a thing, and this was years ago, so the numbers are going to be a little shaky. But I saw this thing where they had somebody who was moments away from dying, and they
Mhm.
had this person like on a special scale, and when he officially died, the scale got like I think it was
Yes.
like
Lighter?
7,
It
it was like
lightened up. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like 7
Yeah.
grams or something like that.
It's that
That's cool.
because the soul left the body.
Right.
I've seen that before. That's pretty wild shit too. Makes you
Yeah,
think.
I felt it when my grandmother passed. I was in the room and I legit 100% felt motion. I felt a rush of what felt like air. And I called it. The doctor actually was a dick because I called it. I'm like, "Oh my god, she's gone." And the doctor said, "No one's called her death." I'm like, "She's gone. I just felt her leave." And the doctor's like, "You're not a doctor." And the nurse goes, "She's gone." And the doctor goes, "Well, call her dead."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctors don't, believe it or not, they don't look at the scientific side to things as much as they don't look at the other side of things as much as they look at scientifically, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So they have
Usually.
to.
Yeah.
Usually. There are some that do though. That's 100%.
Yeah. Didn't they make a movie? Yeah, they made a movie 7 grams about that back in the day.
Yes.
I remember
Yes,
that.
they did.
Good movie.
Absolutely. That's an interesting thought too, Dylan. Like it
Yeah.
makes you wonder, like literally the person is there, nothing's changed, nothing happens. And
Yeah,
then all
where'd
of
it
a
go?
sudden, as soon as they pass away, their body weighs less. That's crazy, isn't it? You're not
I've
blocked,
heard
Mike,
someone.
bro.
Yeah, no, that's nuts. I've heard someone try and tell me it's like water weight and stuff like that. I'm like, that's no. There's just no. There's
It
no
doesn't
explanation.
it doesn't release that fast. Any
No.
of your body fluids and stuff like that, it's not instant like that. It takes a minute or two for that stuff to start to happen, if not longer. So for the weight to change that fast, no. That has no bearing on it at all. That's crazy.
To
We
to
see
my
you, Micro. You're not
understanding,
blocked. What'd
to
you say,
my
Dylan?
understanding, that he was like pretty much on a slab that measured everything. So
Yeah.
if there was a release, it wouldn't have changed.
No, and it would have
Right.
shown. Yeah.
It showed.
Everything
Yeah,
would have.
there would have been residue or something. Waste. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good
Thank you,
point.
Bianca. There you guys.
The
There's the
best.
link
She
to
really is the
Davey's
best.
channel.
Aw, she really is
Go
the
check
best.
it out, you guys. Subscribe and show some support over there for Davey, if you will.
Appreciate.
Of course, of course.
She is the best, though, Bianca.
Yeah, she's amazing. That's why she's part of this crew here. We love her to death. Welcome, Miss Chickbait. How are you, dear? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So yeah, those things all play out or play into any of that. It depends on your, like I tell everybody, even on the true crime side of things, what I'm talking about. Everything, in my opinion, is all up to your own interpretation.
Yep.
What'd you say there, Chickbait?
Hi, Davey. Hi, Dylan.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
So how are you this evening, ma'am?
I'm outside. It's nice out in Ohio. In
Yeah,
my
it is
part.
actually for a change. Yes, Ohio. It's actually, it was 73 here today, sunny, and now it's kind of cooled
Are
down
you guys
a little
close
bit.
to? Are you guys close to where the Bigfoot sightings were, like in March?
It was in my backyard, literally.
Are you serious?
Right
Yes.
in Diego's backyard. Exactly.
Holy shit! Did you see anything or hear anything?
No. Nope. I was
that's a good
actually
thing.
sitting. I was sitting here, I'm facing a window. When they came across with the one that came, they went through Lake Milton, and it said it cut across the Mahoning River. That's literally, if I turned my computer camera around, it's dark
That's
now.
crazy.
You could see you could see the river from my back window.
That's cool.
It's crazy. It was
one
crazy. So I
time.
started looking around and having people look around for me, and nobody saw anything that I know of, but it was pretty wild.
Well, they are elusive as fuck. So I think
We'll
they
be
portal,
covering-
in my opinion. I think they orb portal, in my opinion. But that's my opinion.
A lot of people believe that happens because of nobody has found a dead one, things like that. Yeah.
Yep. But
So
they do
people
have
can't-
hair. They do have hair and blood samples that aren't human that they know. So
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
found they were well, one person said that they were mating, one person said they were migrating, and the path that they walked, supposedly everybody was seeing the same thing in different areas, and it was very
Yeah,
hard
go ahead.
for people were to fake that. Like it was all happening at the same time, basically. So they couldn't fake it, is what the problem was. And then they just migrated on through wherever they were headed to, and then they were gone. So
They were on a vacation, maybe.
but I have had, like, this is no bullshit either. My moderators that are here, if they're still here, that have been here for a while, the room I'm sitting in is an addition, and it sits up higher off the ground than the rest of my house does because there's like a lift underneath it. So, and it goes from the back here, right straight from where I'm at, to all the way through the straight shot into my living room. When we first moved in here, it was November. Yeah. And I was sitting on the couch, which was against the front wall of my front window there. And I was looking forward, looking back here, and there's a light that comes on in the back, like a mercury light on my garage over here to the right. And as I was sitting there watching, I watched a head and shoulders walk past the 3 back windows I have back here.
Oh,
and
creepy.
I was like, I looked around. I made sure that it was late, very late. So most people were sleeping. Nobody else was around. Like, I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have super close neighbors. The ones that are close are like right here. There was nobody there.
Do you have any professional basketball players too? Because that's got to be like 8 or 9 feet, right?
That was my point. And as I'm sitting there, that's when I was getting ready to tell you, I realized that I'm looking at this window and I'm going, wait a minute. That's like, to be level with this window right here, you would have to be 8, 9, 10 foot tall. Because I saw head and shoulders, like this much of the thing moving, walking now. I'm thinking, it's a fucking bear? Because we have bear around here from time to time, and I'm thinking the way it was walking, it was walking like a human being. It was weird. So I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know what
bears
it was.
Definitely have a distinct walk. Like anyone that says bears with the certain ones now.
Did neighbors see anything too, or
They have. The neighbor that lives that way has said he has seen and heard things that back through the woods here, as back towards the river. Now, my wife one morning was sitting on the front porch waiting to get picked up for work at 4:00 in the morning. And out here, we don't have street lights. It's pitch black. And I have woods behind me, and I have woods across the street from me, and then woods to the left and right. I'm surrounded. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
right?
Oh, Dylan must have had to go.
I don't know.
Okay, bud. Have a good night. And
Might be back.
she was sitting on the front porch, and I have guns all over my house because I live out here, and different things. I have coyotes and bobcats and stuff like that. So,
Well, like I grew up in Ohio too, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just like
yeah. So
when
she's
you
sitting on
have see the same
front,
things that kind of
right, right, yeah. She was sitting on the front porch waiting for my son to pick her up because they both work in the same area and they left at the same time. So he picked her up. And while she was sitting there drinking coffee, she said she heard what sounded like a tree branch snap, like loud, big one. And then she heard some kind of groaning. She could have swore to God that she saw a shadow move in the woods across the street because it's so dark with our lights that were on the front of the porch. It was shining against the woods.
Yeah.
And I told her I thought it was probably a bear. And look, just then he pulls in. She gets in the car. They're both staring into the woods when they went by, but it was another experience. So we've had 2 of those happen here. It's weird. So
I just heard a dog.
it's big. Whatever it was, she said it sounded like it crushed like a tree limb when it snapped. It was heavy duty. So never know. You never know. I don't believe in it because I haven't seen it yet. But
yeah.
Dago, Lewis is here. We just heard a dog.
Do what?
We heard a dog.
Yeah, a dog.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It sounded like a chain.
Now that scares me more than Bigfoot is the dogmen. That dogmen.
I'm sorry, I'm in the dark now, guys. It's just that we're in the dark. So.
Oh, you're good.
That's all good.
Okay.
Dogman, I've covered that before on my channel. The Dogman out of Michigan and a couple other places.
The Dogman.
It's pretty wild stuff.
For sure.
Are you in northern or southern Ohio?
Just west of Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Approximately.
East. Middle?
So I'm a little south of you
The
then.
exact area of
Southeast.
but
No, southeast Cleveland.
like yeah, southeast maybe
So
southwest.
what do you got for us there, chick bait? Anything in particular?
No, I just want to pop in and say hi. Missed you
Or?
guys.
Okay, cool. Yeah, here in Ohio, we have. If you're talking about Bigfoot, it was always the Ohio Grassman, is what
I
they
mean,
call.
I did have an
The
issue
grass
with
man?
grinder,
Go ahead, Dick. What'd you say?
a coffee grinder incident. I'm not very
What?
technical with household appliances,
Uh-huh.
but I did troubleshoot it, watch a YouTube video for like 10 seconds, if that. Took a broken,
Okay.
like not a broken, but like a bent paper clip,
Mhm.
jammed up the coffee grinder, fixed it. It grinded.
Nice.
It's fine.
So you pulled a MacGyver.
We MacGyvered it, yeah.
I MacGyvered it. Yes,
It worked. Hey, good for you. Good
I'm
stuff.
bragging. Yes.
I like it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
But
I had two other crazy things if you want to hear them in this realm. So in that same apartment in St. Pete, Florida, with the same girlfriend at the time, like we had this we had a corner of our living room that I don't know if it was possessed or what, but something had a hold of it and it wasn't us. We had a like a three-way like standing light and a TV that was plugged into it. And I had this TV like this is actually a hand-me-down from my best friend when we were kids. We used to play video games on it, for days on end. So I've seen this TV. I've owned it and had it in 4 or 5 different places. This is the only place that it did shit like this, but it would turn off and on randomly. The lights would turn off. They would flicker. They would change speed and oscillate. At times when we spoke to it, it would like change as we're talking to it. The TV would do this crazy thing. Sometimes when it turned back on, it would growl. Like, you know how like if it gets caught on like a bad sound and but it would be like super fucking loud. Our neighbors would hear it sometimes. They're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
No,
You guys still hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, when I was, so happens to me. Like, I had a cat like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe more. Right? Name was Audrey.
Good name.
She died. Okay.
Oh.
But on my bed, like I'll wake up, there'll be like a warm spot on my bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened to me when I was growing up with other cats and things like that, or dogs. And I would wake up and like legit warm spot, like you could feel it.
Yep.
Okay.
I've actually heard a lot of stories about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would hear things at night, like things getting knocked down off of my dresser or something like that.
Wampus cat.
My cousin swore up and down that their dog was a ghost. That they would hear like the breathing at night, snoring of the dog. That things would get bumped over. They would smell the dog, had a specific smell, and it had been dead for like 10 years. It was crazy.
That's what I mean. Like, and that happened to me a couple nights ago. I have 2 cats right now, and I woke up and my cats weren't even around. Like they were somewhere else in a different room. So there's no explanation for that.
That is wild.
Definitely.
That is definitely wild. So,
And I think when they sensed the other cat from my cat's past life being with me,
yeah,
they don't want to be in the room with me because they can
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
It.
No, I've even heard of animals marking territory for animals that used to be there because they're feeling the energy from the animal still.
Oh my god, that makes sense. Sorry, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I had a cat that would do that. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. I'm having a urethra moment. Thank you.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that.
My cats right now, I have 2. They respect the aura or presence of my former cats.
Oh,
that's a natural thing. I've heard that for years.
Yeah, but it's like hard to explain. I don't know.
I get it. So what's your last story there, Davey?
Yeah. So, actually, I'll do this one instead since it fits with cats.
Okay.
In St. Pete, again, 4:30 or so in the morning. I'm blasting metal and I'm screaming because I sing and do karaoke and comedy and stuff. So I'm singing on top of my lungs. I'm blasting karaoke and I'm delivering Uber delivering, and I hear a cat. Like I hear like a little kitten. Again, I'm not doing. I shouldn't hear anything from outside, but I hear like a little kitten, and like I slow down and again. Don't hire me as an Uber driver. Support my creative work, because even if you don't care about what I have to say or act or do, someone else can deliver your food, and then it's a win-win. Because I get sidetracked, shit like this. And I turned around, and and I slowed down, and how the fuck? And so I parked my car. I turned off the radio, whatever, and I'm listening. And I heard it again, this little faint meow, but it sounded exactly the same volume as when I had the fucking music blasting. I'm screaming top of my lungs. And I can't see anything though, but I'm parked like in the alleyway. There's a gas station and there's like residential area just past it. It's off First Avenue North in St. Pete. And it's a really busy area. And I'm listening for a while and I'm like, is there a little kitty here? I'm calling out. And I hear this little meow, meow. And so I walk over a little bit towards the house area, and there's like a little bush and a big old tree, and I see a bird in the tree, like an owl. And I'm like, okay, maybe there is a kitten here or whatever. I'm like, is there a little kitty? And I keep hearing this little meow, and I get closer, and I look down, and just at the edge of the bush, in the shadows, there's this little tiny nose poking out. I'm like, oh my god, it's a little kitten! And the kitten comes out just enough so I can see its face. And I hear rustling up top, and so it jumps back inside, and I'm like, okay, I need to go deliver this. Like, I can't keep fucking around with this, but also don't want to have this cat eaten by a fucking owl, whatever.
You're right.
So I talked to it. I'm like, do you need help, little kitten, or whatever? Because it's a tiny little thing. I'm like, because I'm supposed to be somewhere else, but I'll pick you up if you want to take a ride or whatever. And it's just going meow meow. And I'm like, okay, fuck, I gotta go. And so I'm like, look, I'll be back. Here, little thing. If you want a home or you need some help or you just want to be saved from this thing, I gotta go do some shit, human shit. But I'll be back in a few minutes if you want to, whatever. And so I go, I deliver the food, I come back. It's probably been like 15, 20 minutes. And I brought my girlfriend because she's a cat whisperer, And she comes over and we got this cat. That's how I guess that's the end of the story, but we found this cat. And I remember the whole time she's like, explain to me how you heard her again. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I mean, now it makes more sense. But back then I was like, how did I hear?
No,
That's pretty wild. That is pretty wild.
That cat.
Thank you, Bianca, for that new membership, and welcome to whoever got that one. That's pretty awesome.
Always the best.
Again, always.
I'm just saying that.
And she's beautiful.
Out for you, and
Very much so.
the cat was
That's
calling
wild,
out.
guys.
Okay.
What was that?
The cat was calling out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it was scared and it wanted help. I get it.
Yeah.
I was shocked it was still there.
Owls ain't no joke.
No, and it took a while to coax it. Like it took a while to coax it out because it was definitely scared and it was hurt. It had like its eyes covered and everything, but she's fine now. She's lovely, adorable cat.
My cats are brothers, and the one is very skittish. Okay, the other one's like bigger and tougher and braver, but personalities. The smaller one is still skittish, but he's coming around.
Does it drive you crazy when people say cats are one, like, oh, cats are always this, like cats have one personality? Like, cats have as many personalities as humans do. What are you talking about?
No, exactly. They're brothers. I have brothers. My cats are brothers.
They're very,
and they can be so different.
I agree.
Yes, they are very different. Right, Lewis?
Yeah, very much. Okay. Well, guys, that's awesome stuff. I appreciate you guys sharing with me, and we're almost at 4 hours, so I think it's time for me to bring it to a close.
Oh wow!
But I'm good to see you, Davey, and
good to see you.
So
you too, Chick Bait. It's been a while. It's great to have you back, and Davey, always, please know you're always welcome. I quite enjoyed your stories, and enjoy having you in the chat as well. So thank you for joining.
Love you, Dago. Appreciate it.
Dago.
Love you, Dago.
And then I'll try to talk to you a little bit more when I can.
Absolutely.
Be busy.
Sounds great.
In the chat, y'all in chat, great chat.
Right,
awesome community.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Have a great night. Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Love you guys.
Take care, brother. For Cafe Conspiracy, and I hope you guys got something out of this tonight. I hope you enjoyed it to some extreme, and it was. I hope you were able to take a break from the true crime stuff a little bit to do something a little bit different. That's what it's all about for me when I do that. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to my mods that joined us tonight to help out. As always, much appreciated. Guys, please make sure to hit the like button if you have not yet. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, what you think. Going forward, if you have any thoughts, feelings, or ideas as to what you would like me to cover, I'd be willing to do it. Nothing but love to all of you guys. Have a wonderful night. And don't forget, folks, to love yourselves, love each other, and please don't change a thing because it's truly what I love about you all. You truly are the beautiful people. Have a great one, folks. Bye-bye.